I don't care if you've been trying to open up your can of whoop-ass twisted tea all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Brothers, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with that dang shit on my left stitch.
You don't have to. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Got the twisted tea in his hand. On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, choke with on the threes and post Chronos.
The Rona on its finale tour is coming out like Ike Turner for all the people who are talking shit against it. I'm just saying, y'all know who you are. You catching it now.
Let them know. In the middle, we got oldest ninja in the world, old ninja.
Life is good, but it could be better.
And then last but not least, I think we got your boy Blue.
Yo, you know I keep that thing on me.
Oh, he got it too.
Oh, man.
Stitch got you too.
Goddamn Stitch.
He stepped on your shit.
All right. So listener of the week would be Anthony. Thank you very much for listening. We had a pretty good week these past 7 days as far as like the podcast goes, which is great. And first in the chat would be my boy Mike. So thank you very much for joining, Mike. We appreciate it.
Good shit. And we, so we are live. We got the little notification. We're all good?
Yeah, we are good.
Good shit.
Oh, fuck yeah. Hold on.
What is that?
Oban 14. Shit's expensive now. They used to be like reasonable. But now it's like...
Did you get it from Costco?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the price went up because I Instacarted it. Maybe that's why. It was like $74 or $70 or $80, something like that. It didn't used to be that expensive, from what I remember.
For those not in the know or on the audio only, tell us about Oban.
Oban 14 is a really good whiskey. It's a single malt Scotch whiskey, so it's really good, especially for the price. Even at $80, it's still the way it tastes. The value
worth
getting there, yeah, it's well worth it. So if you ever get a chance to get a decent, whiskey, check out Oban 14. You can find it at pretty much any Costco nowadays for a reasonable cost. And like I said, if you're not used to whiskey and Scotch and all that shit, just try this one out first, and you'll probably like it.
Yeah, it's actually it's so good. Actually, they have it at Whole Foods. I saw it on sale at Whole Foods for $44. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure if Whole Foods has 14 though. I think it's a different number.
I don't remember. I mean, the other numbers that I saw are a lot more expensive. It goes from $80 to $180.
Yeah.
Depending on the year.
Yeah.
So
I think this one's aged by 14 years. I'm pretty sure it was in the barrel for 14 years. If you get it, pour it and then let it breathe for a little while. I learned this from what do I call him on here? John. I'll just call him John. He's been on the podcast before. He's the guy who made Love and Warren, and he's the one who really upped my game on whiskey in general. He had some really rare shit. And yeah, if you let it breathe for a little while, it really makes a difference.
We gotta have him back.
He got this for me. It's fuck. What is it?
it's empty.
Yeah, this is
It's Blanton's. Blanton's Gold, isn't it?
Blanton's Golden Edition, and like it's like limited edition. The thing was like $100 and something, but it was fucking delicious.
Yeah, he brought some Japanese whiskey.
Yeah.
And holy shit, one shot of that shit almost knocked me on my ass. I was like, holy shit.
Nika from the barrel.
He came in with like a little suitcase, like he was a traveling whiskey man or something. He brought a bunch of, because we were doing it was one of our cigar nights, and he brought a bunch of whiskeys. It was crazy.
Is that Grand Apple Berry?
Yeah, it's a beer.
Wow.
It's a fruit beer.
Hey, did you get 21st Amendment's got a Hell and High Water using I think cranberries. Was it cranberries? They have one with using mangoes, but they have another one they just released for the wintertime, and I think it was cranberry. It was some fruit, but I might get it and try it out. But this sweet tea or this twisted tea is actually pretty damn good.
What's the alcohol content?
5%.
So if someone were to call you the N word right now, how many times would it say it for you to whip their ass with that can? I'm just saying.
I think about 5 times,
bro. So if y'all are not familiar with like the twisted tea thing, there was a video that's going around of this dude. There was 2 dudes at some liquor store somewhere, and this guy was a black guy was checking out. Everybody in place had a mask on except for the guy that was actually checking out. The black guy was in the line, and this white dude with no mask on kept calling this dude, kept liberally using the N-word as if it's appropriate to use around anybody, much less a black person. And he kept talking about, where you from, N-word, where you from, N-word, and N-word, N-word. I'm from around the corner, I can walk home right now, blah, 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 blah. Kept talking that shit, didn't know that he found the wrong dude. All right, so this dude, he tried to do like a flip of the can, he dropped it. It's all right, though. He redeemed himself in a minute. He dropped the can, picked it up as the dude tried to kick it from him. He's like, what you gonna do? And he's like, all right, I'm just gonna give you this twisted tea. Slapped him upside his fucking face and busted his ass. And then, that's usually where the video stops. That's not where the ass whooping stopped.
There's more.
Right? He kept whooping his ass for a good minute. So he knew that he fucked with the wrong one. And I'm usually, I don't like people using violence a lot anymore. But I mean, the guy went way past like a reasonable, like if he had said the N-word once or twice and he whooped his ass, I'd have been like, all right, this guy must have said at least 15 times.
Well, but the biggest thing for me was the white guy was drunk as hell, or high and drunk or whatever. And then he said, I want you to hit me. What you gonna do? Hit me. Okay.
And when he hit him with that can, it was like he hit him with a fucking water balloon. That goddamn can.
That shit exploded.
God damn. But I wonder if the Sweet Tea they tweeted out. They didn't tweet out about the incident, but they tweeted out about how they had like a woke meme out or something like that. Like we have the Sweet Tea here or something like that. And the people who were commenting on that shit was so fucking funny. Oh man, the memes were off the chain.
Yeah, man. I love the fact that the Twisted Tea, they went viral basically, like no fault of their own, because they were in this video. And, everybody saw it. People are buying Twisted Tea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these two dudes bought it.
Keeping that thing on them, It's just funny. It's like the polar opposite of the skateboarding Fleetwood Mac guy with the cranberry juice.
Oh, my God. Have you seen the War? So there's a War and Peace meme, right? Yeah. So the cranberry juice is peace, and then the Twisted Tea's war. I was like, oh, shit.
It's all like Malcolm X and MLK.
Yeah, I hope the guy learned his lesson. I mean, seriously, you can't sit there and, verbally berate somebody for over nothing, and then say hit me, and then expect them not to hit you. I mean, people have a tipping point. That's what most folks that don't understand violence is, that you don't know who you're meeting if they're at a 6, a 5, or a fucking 9.5. And they're just waiting on somebody to say the wrong fucking thing and to fuck you up. That's why when people want to get in fights, like, you don't know who the fuck you're fighting. You don't know what they got on them. You don't know how their day went. Yeah.
You don't know who their friends are either. Yeah. Some people don't let it stop even at that ass whooping.
No.
They come after your friends. You know what I mean? They come after your family, where your mama stays.
Where your mama stay, where your daddy stay, and where your grandma stay.
Could erase his whole family twig. It's probably not a tree because the guy looked a little inbred.
God damn. We're all out of sync, but this is fun. Old Ninja, do you have any RIPs?
Oh yes, I do. Yes, I do. So
RIP, that dude's dignity.
Yeah, exactly.
But he lived. He just got knocked out. That's all.
Oh, that was great.
So we're gonna start. We're gonna pour some Twisted Tea this week. So I believe his name is pronounced Lin Kui. It's Q. His last name is Qi. I believe it's Kui. Chinese billionaire tycoon and founder of video game company Yozu, or I think Yozu or Yazoo. He's passed away. Lin Kui died Christmas Day after being hospitalized for quote-unquote physical discomfort for 2 days. The company Yozu was founded in 2009.
Physical discomfort for a few days.
Yeah,
I'll let you finish. I thought I heard something different.
Yeah, let me finish. You'll understand when I get to the end. In 2009, Yozu started a film production. 2014, the company was securing a deal with Netflix and the makers of Game of Thrones to make a live-action adaptation of the Chinese sci-fi trilogy, The Three-Body Problem. Yozu made the 2019 role-playing game Game of Thrones Winter is Coming. Kui's death is being investigated as a homicide by Shanghai police for alleged poisoning with a suspect already in custody. Excuse me. Alleged infighting at the company may be the motive for the attack. He was 39 years old. So this man was worth $1 billion. Billionaire with a B.
Damn. Sound like he got.
Yeah, that's why he's being investigated as a homicide. Moving on.
Wow.
John Huber, best known by his wrestling name as Brody Lee, he's passed away. Before he was Brody Lee, he was known as Luke Harper, and then later on just Harper in the WWE. He was part of the All Elite Wrestling. When he joined, he took on the name Brody Lee then. He was also part of the Florida Championship Wrestling, the FCW. And then he went on to debut in the NXT as a member of the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family has won the NXT Tag Team Championship and the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. He became part of the All Elite Wrestling in March of 2020 as the Exalted One. I guess there was a huge reveal with his character. He passed away the day after Christmas at the age of 41.
Damn.
Next up, we have
41.
Don
God,
Wells.
what the fuck? That's my age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's young as fuck.
Don Wells. Don Wells, fabulously famous for portraying Mary Ann Summers on the TV show Gilligan's Island.
The brunette, right?
Away.
Right?
No, I
It
think
was,
she's
I think that's what I saw.
redhead. She's redhead. She's redhead.
Oh, shit.
She was a Miss America pageant contestant from Reno, Nevada, where she won her state's title, but then didn't win the pageant. She appeared in multiple TV shows and 77 Sunset Strip before beating out 600 other women for the role of Mary Ann. She continued to act, appearing in Baywatch, Roseanne up until the 2019. Her last one was The Epic Tales of Captain Underpants. She passed away due to complications due to COVID-19. She was
Damn.
80. She was 82.
Damn. I thought Ginger was the redhead, dude.
Why is there two? Well, hold on. There's two blues now.
Why is there two blues?
Who's gonna win here? There's gotta be a battle.
Doppelganger.
Yeah,
Don't trust that other blue.
Yeah, there can only be only one.
It's like,
Is one of you Hush?
it's Tenet.
There can only be one.
Yeah. So next up we have Adolfo Quiones, actor, choreographer, and dancer, best known by his dancer or quote-unquote street name Shabba-Doo, and his most famous role as Ozone. He's passed away. Shabba-Doo rose to fame back in the 80s, becoming one of the most well-known and legendary breakdancers on the West Coast. He became a heartthrob and sex symbol after starring in Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. He was an original member of the original Lockers, and he appeared in several TV shows such as Miami Vice, What's Happening, and even Married with Children. He choreographed music videos for Lionel Richie, Madonna, and Luther Vandross. He was married to Layla Rashawn, whom he has two kids with. And he posted to social media that he was feeling sluggish, but he had tested negative for COVID-19. The very next day, he was found unresponsive in his room.
God damn.
He died at the age of 65. It's a real one. And last up, we have Joe Clark. Famous baseball bat-wielding principal who was the inspiration for the film Lean on Me. Joe Clark has passed away, known for being as hard as nails principal in the East Side High School in Patterson, New Jersey. His efforts to clean up the school got national attention. In a single day, he expelled roughly 300 students and locked them out of the school grounds for fighting, drug possession, and abusing teachers. He would walk around the halls of the school with a bullhorn and a baseball bat. Clark disclosed that the bat was not for hitting students, but was to symbolize the potential of the baseball diamond, where one can either strike out or hit a home run. He was on the cover of Time magazine in 1988.
Hold on, that is not what it was for. It's for chicks over 200 pounds that might happen to assault you. According to Blue, this is what that joke will never get old. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all bad. He was on the cover of Time magazine in 1988, and in 1989, the movie Lean on Me, the movie based on his efforts, starring Morgan Freeman, was released. President Ronald Reagan had offered him a policy advisor position in the White House, but Clark declined. The former Army drill sergeant had retired to Gainesville, Florida, and had succumbed to an undisclosed illness. He was 82 years old.
Damn,
That's
Dr.
all
Clark.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, epic movie.
I thought
Actually,
Samuel Jackson.
I took my. I was gonna say I took my SATs at that high school in like 1998, 99 or whatever.
East Side?
It is East Side, not fair, East Side. Or whatever. That was a dope school song though.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, it's that area and that school is really really rough. I remember like just walking into it, just taking like my SATs, and you're in like a classroom, and there's like nothing on the wall. It's like you're in an empty prison and stuff like that. It's just brick walls with paint on it and everything like that. It's like, how is this like a functioning high school and stuff like that? But it's an epic movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's so good, and I don't know how much of the movie was actually taken from or how much of real life was used in the movie. If he was trying to throw kids off the roof and shit like that, but it's a good movie. I love watching that movie when I do see it on.
I always get
The
it.
man that performed that song, the E-Fight High song.
In the movie, it's not Boyz II Men. No.
Yeah, I thought it was. It's either Boyz II Men or some other R&B group that does it.
I
Like
do
there's the
know
one
there
that's in
are
the
R&B
bathroom that starts singing the song.
Oh, so the song, I think originally the song is Joe Crocker, isn't it?
Not the writers, but like in the movie, the actors who performed the song was Boyz II Men. I think. I thought.
It looked like some young. It looked like some young
It was
kids. I saw the clip recently. It's not Boyz II Men though.
No, it's the fat kid that was trying to get tossed off the roof. He sings it.
No,
Exactly.
he only sings like he lip sings it while the other guys sing it. He's like filling the song. He's like, Isa. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, go back and look it up.
Yeah. Yo, Twisted Tea got you twisted already.
The funny thing is, I always get it confused with the one with Edward James Olmos. That's like the LA version.
Oh, yeah.
I mix those up every time. That was called Stand and Deliver, or
Yeah.
No, Stand By Me.
Stand By. Okay.
No, it is Stand and Deliver. Stand By Me is a totally different.
Yeah, so y'all want to see a dead body?
Stand By Me is a Stephen King book developed into a fucking movie. The fuck?
Yeah, but those two movies, I get them confused all the time with the titles, and they had that similar theme of how do I reach these kids and help them.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I legit thought it was the same high school that had the same issues, and they just changed teachers per year. Like, fuck, this high school's fucked up.
And Dangerous Minds will fall in that category too.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous Minds had the best song ever, though, with that Coolio song. God damn, they hit hard as fuck. Remember that?
Yep, from Dangerous Minds.
Yeah.
Dude, I actually went to that high school, Carmont, before I moved to Newark.
Are you serious?
Damn.
But all that stuff happened before I went there.
Wait, that was in the Bay?
Yeah, it happened in Newark. It happened at Carmont High School in Belmont.
I had no fucking idea. I really didn't.
Damn.
Yeah,
I thought it was like in LA or something.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. I thought it was supposed to be EPA in that one, but I could be wrong.
He
Okay.
probably didn't have a school at that time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, fuck black people.
Damn.
Seriously, I mean,
Yeah.
that's how the government's been doing this for years. I mean, you want a
We
school?
talked-
How about the shittiest school we can possibly have? And then wonder why you're all going to jail because you have nothing to do and you have no skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fucking prisons,
Well-
the school prison pipeline.
Yeah, and we know that EPA folks were not going to school with Palo Alto folks, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh no, they shipped us to a whole different city. Even though you can just literally drive like maybe 5 miles to get to the nearest high school.
There it is. God,
And even fucking
damn.
Stanford College.
You know what's funny to me is how close EPA is to Stanford University. It's actually not
right there.
really that
Yeah,
far.
you can walk there.
Yeah, pretty much. You
soon
just
as
walk across 101.
As soon as you cross the 101, you go from like abject poverty into fucking Bougieville. Like literally,
Oh, for real.
like it's like 100 yards.
Yep.
Like what the fuck? It's so crazy.
100 yards and a world away.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things is that East Palo Alto isn't east of Palo Alto. It's like kind of southish,
Yeah.
or northish. And they have nothing to do with each other. Like they're not nowhere associated with each other.
It's weird because is East Palo Alto considered a separate city or no? I don't think it is it?
It's not only a separate city; it's a separate county.
Different county. Yes.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's yeah. So what?
San Mateo.
One's in San Mateo, and the other's Santa Clara, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Palo Alto's
That's
fucked up
it.
though, because they charge Stanford, the hospital, and the school more money by people just going through Palo Alto. I'm like, how the fuck did y'all meet that deal? Literally, the
Yep.
Stanford has to pay extra money every year to the city of Palo Alto for people to travel through their city to get to their facilities. That
Yep.
What kind of fucking bullshit is that? That is the
Yep.
bougiest shit ever.
The thing that got me, and I put this in the chat a few days ago, they have this in Palo Alto, this secret fucking park that's supposed to be the most gorgeous park in the Bay Area, and you could not go there unless you were a Palo Alto resident or literally a Palo Alto resident like signed off for you and they were with you. And so for years, that was the only park like that in all of California. For years, they were doing this, and then I think as of last Thursday, the NAACP and the ACLU successfully sued and got them to relinquish that bullshit of, hey, if you're a city or a county park or whatever, it needs to be accessible to the public. You can pay a parking fee or whatever, but it has to be eligible or available to the public, like everybody, all the other parks in the fucking city and county,
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
or actually in the state.
I'm trying to see if I can find a map, but this goes back to like redlining, because
Yes,
there's
it does.
like you can find maps of redlining, and like there's places in like Palo Alto and like the rest of the Bay Area, because people think that
Mhm.
we live in California, it's never racist. You're fucking stupid.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's all bad.
And you can clearly see where all the ghettos are. They're all red line districts, but I'm pretty sure
Yep.
I deal with redlining.
Yeah, I mean, I brought this up before, but there was a lady in Redwood City who was trying to sell her home,
Oh, here we go.
and there's literally racist, not even nomenclature. It's literally racist statutes to where who she cannot sell her property to. It literally says, you cannot sell this property to Mexicans, no Chinamen. It doesn't say Chinese people. It's just Chinamen, and it says no. I'm not even sure it says Negroes. It just says something else. But the home has been sold several times, but the lady literally had to go to like court and pay to change her bill of the deed on the house. The deed on the house.
Prodigy you can tell, but there's a name for it. Is it convents or con something? It's in the color of law.
Yeah,
What the fuck is the name of that?
that's
shit?
it.
I think
Yep.
it's, I
No,
think
you
it's
got it.
convents. But yeah, the book is called A Color of Law if you want to read more about redlining. Prodigy recommended it to me. I read it. It's a fantastic book if you want to understand how people got fucked. Well, mostly black people got fucked in America way after fucking slavery. Way after fucking slavery.
Dude, check out. There's a documentary on Netflix about redlining too, and like what's so crazy about it, they talk about like San Francisco and shit. And it's like holy shit, like
Yeah.
just right on the backyard. But kind of jumping back to the Lean on Me, the band that performed the song in the bathroom is called Riff.
Okay.
They're like an old like 80s R&B group that had a few good hits, but not many. Actually, they're still around. They got a few albums out still.
I just knew they weren't Boys to Men. I know what Boys to Men looks like.
Yeah. Shit.
I don't know about Riff.
Here,
Holy shit.
hold on. Can I pull up I'll pull up a map so we can actually see what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, sure.
I'll bring up one of like San Francisco so people can
Mhm.
see exactly what.
Hunters Point and Chinatown were not designed for good white folks.
So everywhere that you see that it's red, if you look up right now, like where all the crime and fucking
Mm-hmm.
poverty is, everywhere that's red, you'll see that because all this area right here, I'm pretty sure this, like most of this area here, I'm sorry, especially down here, this is all like industrial area in San Francisco. Like all of it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so they put these red line districts in like near hazardous waste and industrial areas. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say the EPA kind of word for it is the Superfund sites.
Yeah.
Super
yeah.
toxic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Go
fucking,
ahead.
it's fucking bullshit. So that also like when they built these communities, they would have they wouldn't use the same quality of material. So that's where you would see like a lot of asbestos and lead paint and shit where like if you go to the south, you'll have stuff where like literally a sewage line will be running through your backyard like open, and that's to this day.
Yep.
And there's nothing
Yep.
you can really do about it. Like you rent these places in the south, and you have these open sewer lines, and you're like, what the fuck? And nobody will fix it because it was in a red line district, and they don't feel like they need to, and the government will back them up on not needing to to this
Yep.
day.
Even Central California, like it gets forgotten about, but all of that kind of surrounding area of Fresno is closer to rural Mississippi and Alabama than it is LA or San Francisco. But
Oh
people
yeah,
don't
man. Those
know
areas around Fresno, there's some good old boys out there. Ooh man,
that.
it's all bad. Even parts of Fresno. I mean, it's just
Oh, for sure.
it's all bad. I do not stay in there. I don't like staying there overnight. I'm like something bad is gonna happen. Like we need to get to a metropolitan area very quickly.
Yeah, that's why you gotta keep that sweet tea on you, baby.
Oh,
Damn.
damn.
God, damn. All right. All right.
Don't get it twisted.
All right. I know we're gonna get into this Wonder Woman, right?
Or you want to do it now?
Or we could. What do you want to do? What do you want to do first? You got another?
Well, someone put something on here that I don't see. Oh, so someone put on a ballot exchange. Is this a book or something? What
That
is
was,
this?
well, that was a while ago. That
What are you
was.
talking about?
Yeah, it's on the list. I don't know
well,
what
we
it
should
is.
remove it.
That's what I'm
I
asking.
talked about it a few weeks ago. Like, it should have been removed. It's another podcast that I'm doing. That'll be
Okay.
under the same banner. It's with my friend Daniel Ballou. We talk about like the first one we talked about universal basic income, then representation in the House, and then we just did one on like the different forms of government. So they're all like banged. They're just not out yet. We're gonna do another one. I'm gonna talk about racism on the next one. So basically, we exchange information because like I don't know. He knows like he's a poli sci major, and so I'm learning a lot of shit about the government, and then I'm breaking down some other stuff like ideas for him, like UBI, and then the next will be on racism. So it's like interesting conversations. They're actually really good when they come out.
Okay. So then you want to hit? I see Prodigy's got his notes. So.
So that's the main topic. So yeah, get on. I mean, that's what people in the chat want to hear us talk about.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Get what they
You know how
want.
it is. Yeah. So anyway, obviously HBO Max and theaters released on Christmas Day. We all know Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot. This is the sequel to what was it, 2017? I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Was it? I feel like it's been delayed for 3 years, so I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that. Let's get I guess, Stitch, you can start it off, set it up.
Well,
I mean, come on.
Okay, I'll set it up and I'll give my opinions and my critiques with the movie, I guess, because I want to hear your guys' stuff on it first. But yeah, it dropped on HBO Max, like you said. I don't know what time, but
they did like I said. They took away their 7-day free trial.
Oh hell yeah!
You had to buy that shit.
So yeah, I mean, from what they said, it broke the records for pandemic box office at I forget the number off the top of my head. Was it 19? I can't think of the number off the top of my head. I don't want to misquote it, but it broke the number for box office sales for people that actually went to the movie theaters. And then HBO said that more than half of its subscribers, I guess, streamed it within the first 24 hours. I also further read that they didn't give an exact number on that. They didn't give it an actual number, but they said, I guess, more than half. But this movie essentially takes place in 1984. Mm-hmm. I think we mentioned how there was some confusion on if this was going to be a prequel or not, and I do have questions on that because I believe she said that it wasn't a prequel.
She
correct?
being Patty or Gal?
Patty, yeah. Both, I guess, both are credited as being producers on the thing, right? So, but I guess maybe I'll speak more for, I guess, Patty.
Hold on. How could any rational person think this was a prequel?
Well, it does. I mean, chronologically, it takes place. It takes place. Well, it takes place. It's a sequel to the first movie, but it takes place obviously before Justice League and Batman versus Superman.
But it's a sequel to Wonder Woman, though, right? Is that?
Yeah.
It's a sequel to Wonder Woman. So how is that not in?
I guess where they were. I don't know how the question was posed. People were trying to find, is this still connected to the Justice League, Batman, versus Superman universe? Is this before that, or is this?
Oh.
Are they all supposed to be tied together?
Well,
From
I
what
think so.
Okay, yeah.
and now I'm all confused on what it is that.
No, well, I understand the problem is because
Confusion on that.
there's things that she does in the movie that she doesn't do in Justice League, but it's also the people that wrote Justice League was not Patty Jenkins, and they didn't do a good job on like really explaining Wonder Woman's power set, and frankly there were directors that were not as good as and writers that were not as good as the writers.
Yeah,
And they also rushed the whole Justice League and Batman versus Superman thing too, so they didn't build up a story for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I wasn't breaking down the movie at that point, but this is just going into it. But yeah, the movie takes place in 1984 after the events of the first Wonder Woman movie that we saw. She's working at the Smithsonian as a anthropologist. And there's some stuff that takes place. We meet the villains in the movie, and altogether it was about 2 hours and 30 minutes long. Like I said, I want to give my sort of breakdown on the film last because I want to hear what you guys have to say for it first, because there might be some stuff that like I might have missed or didn't see correctly that I don't want to just start blabbing about and then you guys to correct me and me completely missed it. I've watched the movie about 1 3/4 of the way through.
Okay.
I watched it the first time on Christmas, and I tried to rewatch it again before the cast, and I'm up to like the final sort of act portion of it. But for those that haven't seen the movie, we will be going into spoilers, so fast forward if you can, if you want to, I guess, avoid hearing what the movie's about.
Yeah. Okay. I'll start off. I mean, obviously, I was looking forward to this one quite a bit. I do see there's a whole bunch of controversy. There's some mixed reactions to it in general, and I'm sure we're going to go into that. But really, what you have here, at least from the way I see it, is a story about kind of explaining Maxwell Lord as a whole, and then at a secondary character of seeing how Dr. Barbara Minerva goes from normal girl into eventually Cheetah, which is what we knew ahead of time. And then obviously figuring out through the plot how and why Steve Trevor is back up in the mix, because he obviously died in the first Wonder Woman. So you got a lot of magic, you got a lot of superhero mythology going on that's, for me, as someone who's read a whole bunch of Wonder Woman of late, gone back and read a whole lot of stuff from Rebirth and all of that, it felt very similar to a lot of DC stories for Wonder Woman. Like, obviously, a lot of her runs, not all of them, but a lot of her runs, she's been in DC proper, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I enjoyed, and I may be way out of line here, but I enjoyed a lot of the back and forth with her and Barbara, and a lot of Pedro Pascal's ascension into madness with Maxwell Lord. What did you guys think?
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Cronus. Go ahead.
Well,
you're you want to keep snacking?
No. I'm it's all gone now. I'm mute,
Okay.
so you guys don't hear me.
Yeah, I know. I saw, but I didn't know how much you had left. So
No, I didn't eat a lot today. So yeah, you guys know me. Sometimes I don't eat a lot. So and then I don't want to get too drunk in the podcast. Anyway,
for sure.
because I'm drinking, beer and scotch.
Oh, you drinking beer and Oban? Oh man.
Oh yeah, it's fucking delicious.
Right.
Anyway, it's a good way to alter our reality. I enjoyed the movie, however, it was not without its faults. There are faults that I didn't think were that serious, but where somebody else were to say it, I could totally understand. Like the vast majority of the middle of the movie was kind of meh. I mean, we're moving things along, but there's not a whole lot going on here. There's not a whole lot of action, not a whole lot of Wonder Woman shit going on here. She's not kicking a whole lot of ass. There's to me, there was, I think, basically like 3 fight scenes maybe in the whole movie that were like worthy of note, and they were good. Don't get me wrong, but in the middle, it's a vast dry desert of just progressing the story. But it's like we should kind of be a little bit more action orientated, in my opinion, anyway. But I still enjoyed the movie. I don't think that Maxwell Lord was a very strong villain either. As far as doing villainous shit, I think it was cool to like have somebody turn into a djinn. That was pretty dope. But I think that if you're used to these really bombastic villains that we get in Marvel and DC, and then get to Maxwell Lord, he's gonna rate pretty much at the bottom, if not the bottom, of doing villainous shit. Because he actually didn't do much that was bad. He just asked other people, "What do you want? Here you go." He was not frivolous. He was just like he didn't think about the actions that they were doing, and I don't think that gets in like real deep villainous territory because he didn't do anything really. It was just what people were asking. He was granting their wishes, and that they just didn't think about the consequences of the action. So that led to calamity. But as far as him being a villain, like I wish that he had like a better motivation other than I want to look better to my kid. I mean, to be honest with you, well, where's the ambition? I mean, yeah, be better for your kid, but like maybe let's do it on your own merits and not with some magical fucking rock, you know? So, I still really like the movie though. Like I'm basically just giving the shit that I didn't like kind of up front. Because that's, to be honest, that's probably where most people have the problems is with what I'm saying. But I mean, like the first fight scene when the first scene that we saw in the movie where it's a young Diana like doing like the whole like ninja warrior fucking or ninja Amazon. I'm sorry, fucking obstacle course. That shit was dope. What Patty Jenkins does, which with no other DC, EU or whatever director has seemed to figure out, is like how to actually instill a sense of wonder in the viewer. Right from the get go when I was watching this movie, I was like, "This is fucking fantastic." I'm in awe watching these scenes. I feel like I'm being transported into another world that's interesting. I'm seeing these things that I want to see more about. In these other DC movies, they don't really touch anywhere near that realm of like, holy shit, this is really cool. Like, where is this going? I'm seeing all this really cool imagery, not all this fucking depressing bullshit. But I think that like again, like in the first movie, all these other directors that are in the DC, EU, except for Aquaman did an okay job too. Whoever directed that.
James Wan.
Just James Wan. Okay. Well, those two together, but Patty Jenkins still eclipsed him as far as I'm concerned, as far as like the wonder goes. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't as good as the first one in my opinion, but it was still a great movie. Like I liked it a lot. I really did. Especially with fucking the way they did Cheetah. God damn. I thought she was gonna look like shit. Especially when they announced what's her name was gonna play Cheetah. Yeah. I was like, are you fucking for the SNL lady? Like what?
She did a really good job.
Yeah, they shut me the fuck. I mean, Patty Jenkins has shut me up more than once. So thank goodness that she did it again with Cheetah. She definitely did Cheetah justice, even though like her backstory, like her actual origin story, wasn't like totally comic correct from the comics that I've read. But it doesn't really matter. She still did a fantastic job with her. So, yeah. What did the rest of you guys think?
Old Ninja, get in there.
So I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what the Prentice said, but go a little deeper. I know that people's gripes were like they felt like the beginning served no purpose, but I think that was a complete, like I guess, misstep that people didn't connect the dots. At least, like again, this is my opinion. I feel that the very beginning, the first like 10-15 minutes, is like a trifecta. There's three things. One, it's setting up the spin-off for the Amazons, which if you didn't know, that's on its way with Patty Jenkins as producer, possibly director. Also, the twofold, like her aunt who died in the first film talks about her being a true hero and what it means to be a true hero and how important it is to be truthful and how you can't cheat and call yourself a hero. That is what later plagues Diana when she made her wish and ended up with Steve Trevor, because she basically cheated death for him so she can selfishly be with him. And he brings that up to her when they're in the apartment because she doesn't want to talk about it. And he's like, we need to talk about this. And she's like, I don't want to talk about this. This is the one thing I wanted for myself. I enjoy helping people, but you are the one who I want, and I want you for myself.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, technically, how is this going to play out?
Yeah,
like I'm in someone else's body.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
real quick. There was like a lot of confusion with some people that I saw on Facebook that were like, "Why is Steve back?" I'm like, they explained it to you. Like, I knew when he was coming back when she picked the fucking rock up, and there was like the wind blew. I was like, okay, this is very obvious what's gonna happen here. And people are still confused about it. I'm like, are you watching the same fucking movie I'm watching? Because it seemed very well explained to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that point what you said just a second. And then also I think going back to the beginning is also another parallel to Maxwell Lord, because even though his motivation was to be a better man for his kid, he was cheating everything he did. Everything he got from a wish. So his bankrupt business, his fortune, his fame, his notoriety, and his powers were a cheat. And he ended up not exactly getting what he wanted, was to be truthful to his kid. And it wasn't until he renounced everything that he had to find the truth within and then be truthful to his son on a one-on-one basis. So I think a lot of people kind of miss that. Also, what Kronos just talked about a minute ago, I think a lot of people don't understand that where Diana is from, there is magic. Where she in Themyscira. I think a lot of people didn't see glitter and fucking rainbows and shit shoot out, but they just saw like wind blow up, and I guess. But
she's made out of fucking
she's
clay.
made of clay. So yeah, well, depending on who's writing, either Zeus fucked her mom or she's made of clay. One of those two origins.
I'm sorry, real quick. In this universe, her mother lied to her about the clay, and she really is, obviously the daughter of Zeus.
Yeah.
But just to really quickly say this, they have magic weapons in Themyscira, and you see that in the very first one.
Hold on, her lasso is magic.
Yeah, the lasso. She thought she had the God Slayer. Oh. She thought she had the God Slayer, and even her bracelets.
Her gauntlets are blessed by Zeus. Isn't her mother like not a sorceress? They have a different, like a mage or something. Her mother delves in magic. I know this. She's not like, she's pretty proficient if I remember correctly. Also, what is coming in the DCEU, which we've already gotten as well, we've gotten Shazam, where he got his powers from magic. We're gonna get Black Adam, where all of his shits are surrounded by magic, and like all of a sudden, Diana doesn't have magic or something. Like, what the fuck? Like, we see she's wearing magical gauntlets. Her lasso is magic. A lot of stuff that we saw in Themyscira is magic. A lot of stuff is from Greek mythology as well. Like, I think people seem to magic. Yeah, I think a lot of people seem to have forgotten that and expected like her to come out with a bazooka or something. So I was like, what? I know there's a lot of gripes about her using magic to cloak the jet, because in the past she's had an invisible jet, and she talks about how Zeus cloaked Themyscira using magic. She said she'd been trying for 50 years to replicate that. She did it on a coffee cup, and then she lost the cup. She managed to get it to work.
I like that.
Yeah, and so
I get that too. I wish there was a scene like at the end where she's like doing something and she bumps something that's not there and it falls on the table and breaks.
Yeah, that'd been awesome too. I thought that would have been a great joke.
I'm sorry. Can I just really quick? I hate to step on you, Olden, but if you ever saw, obviously the Linda Carter, which we'll talk about later, but Linda Carter old school series, or even plenty of the cartoons with Wonder Woman. The invisible jet was something that was in the 70s and 80s and all
she's just sitting there. So if you can watch it right now on HBO Max, you can literally see Linda Carter sitting down with fucking clouds passing by her and shit. It's fucking hilarious.
It was campy. It was campy even back then. But if you were someone who that was your first introduction to Wonder Woman with the invisible jet stuff,
oh yeah, it was great.
You couldn't help but laugh, and give a huge cheesy fucking smile when she's in an invisible jet in this one. That was cool to me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I thought it was too. And Patty Jenkins points out that her and Jeff Johns had a hard time trying to make it believable and work within the script. And I was like, oh, they came up with that way. We had it explained in Wonder Woman that a whole island is invisible. to the naked eye. So she was trying to copy. It took her 50 years to try to, do the cup, and then she, applied it to the jet, and it worked out. I didn't see an issue with it. However, I did have an issue with Steve flying close to fucking fireworks. Like any one of them, he took out his fucking engine. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I get it, you're from 1918, but at least fucking fly higher.
He's a World War One pilot that knows how to drive 1980s F fighter jets. You know?
I mean, I don't.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, because think about it. We have people from the 40s that are alive today that can still drive a car, so. It's literally gas, brake, steering wheel. I mean, most of the stuff is still there. The only thing different is safety and comfort.
No, stop.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Stop.
I didn't say it's the same thing. I'm just saying they just added more stuff. Anyway, there's a point in the film where the rock is gone, but what's left is like a gauntlet or something, or like a ring, where Diana says, "This is the language of the gods." She name drops another villain, which I think they may show in the next film or whatnot. So I think a lot of people might have been the Duke of Trickster or whatnot. He's a DC villain. He's not Loki in DC, but he's known as a god of trickster,
lies. The god of lies.
Yeah.
Is it the same guy from the Mask?
Oh shit!
I know. I think Loki made the Mask. And Jim Carrey's the Mask. I think Loki was the one that made it. But.
I will say though, there were certain things that I felt were a little cheesy, but not too cheesy. I thought Kristen Wiig did a way better job than I anticipated. I really liked Pedro Pascal, except for the end felt a little dragged on a little bit because he kind of got what he wanted and kind of threw it all away, and it felt a little just. I don't know. It was a little unsettling because it didn't feel exactly like something that he would give up. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, he could show up to be a huge threat later on. Not sure, but like I said, there were some things that I wasn't exactly jiving. But overall, I thought this was an entertaining film. I definitely do not think this is better than the first one. I've seen the film twice too, and to me, it was better the second time. But there are some instances in the film where I was just like, sure. There's other times where I was like, oh, this is great. I still think Patty Jenkins did a pretty good job. But there are some points that I think missed. Like some of the action sequences were a little funky, even though I know that there are some dangerous stunts involved. And I think a lot of people didn't really like the Steve Trevor and Diana relationship a bit, because people were still like, this is kind of weird and it feels disingenuous, when I felt the opposite. This feels totally real, and she's been a little bit selfish, but she needs to get her head back in the game. And I do wish that she did do more violent, or actually just be a little bit more brutal, because like we talked about last week, she kills Maxwell Lord in the comics. She literally breaks his neck, and she didn't kill anyone this time. She was saving a lot of people. I get it, but I think a lot of people were expecting a more ruthless Diana, and we didn't get it. So
no, I mean, no, you should not have expected that. This is one of the things. This is the reason why we incorrectly called Patty Jenkins out when she first started making these movies. She said that she was going to have a kinder, gentler Wonder Woman, and we were like, no, fuck that. We need to see her fucking people up. And the first Wonder Woman, I mean, it's a great movie. She didn't. Need to,
oh yeah, spectacular.
I mean, she was
but
still
I think
a warrior.
I'm thinking. I think a lot of people expected more violence. I guess. I don't know.
So, sorry, can I point out something really quickly when you bring up violence? I probably liked it more, and I know Blue's going to get in here, and so is Stitch. I probably liked it a little bit more than you and Kronos, but I think where there was a real miss from a violence standpoint was with Dr. Minerva, when she's got basically the powers of Diana.
Oh yeah.
And she's been, let's just call it what it is. She's been sexually assaulted, harassed, and assaulted by this like sleazy ass dirtbag, and then she turns on him, starts whooping some ass, and knocks this dude unconscious, but still wants to keep on going. And someone who she had helped earlier in the film kind of comes in there and says, "Hey, what are you doing, Barbara?" or whatever. I actually think they missed an opportunity there from a violence standpoint. Since she is one of the villains in this, she should have gone all the way and actually ended that dude from a
Well,
violence
so
standpoint.
this hold on.
I
This
think it would have been better.
I will give you a little bit of pushback only because I think that Patty Jenkins might stick a little bit to the comics to where in the next movie, Cheetah becomes an ally of Wonder Woman and they start working together. So if that's how they're gonna go, then I can totally understand why they did that. But if it's not, then I'll just sort the fuck up. So.
Yeah.
Well, what's cool with Cheetah, like they have an open opportunity because like she got her powers through a wish, but she can still go off and find that stone since her character is.
So I don't think she actually renounced her wish. There's a plot hole in the movie that people aren't talking about.
A plot hole?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch, but this is like one of the major ones at the end, is because not everybody had to renounce their wish. They didn't have to at all.
Mm-hmm.
So what if she didn't renounce her wish and she could just transform back and forth between Cheetah, like the Cheetah form?
Yeah, and she made two wishes as well. So
well,
if she renounced it, she lose. She made a wish with the rock.
God damn, one of you at a time.
Sorry, she made a wish with the rock, and she made a wish with Maxwell Lord.
Yeah. No, I would have wanted to see the violence.
Blue, please go.
What's up? Okay, so my take on the movie. I thought I liked it. It was enjoyable. There's some parts that were like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Like, for one thing that confused the hell out of me was when Maxwell Kid came in there. I swear to God, I thought that kid was Asian. I was like, what the hell? Is that like a stepson or some shit?
You did look Asian.
Like, I didn't understand like the relationship with the kid. Huh?
I mean, this is coming from a guy that adopted a kid. That shit doesn't bother me at all. Like, I don't even like. Well, yeah. You say he's a kid, all right, I believe you.
I guess yeah, I assume he probably adopt him or something like that.
Or could have an Asian wife.
I don't know what the hell's going
on. He's a Latino guy playing a definite white guy with a very dyed blonde hair. But yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, I kind of the whole Steve Trevor kind of storyline kind of. It was like, okay, you're one like when she first met him, she like it was the first guy she ever met. And, like, they had sex, and, like, she literally was like, okay, yeah, it was just sex, like, get over it, dude. And now she's, like, head over heels over him. Like, that kind of pulled me away from the storyline. And, like, how he just kind of magically comes back was kind of weird, too. Like, it just didn't seem real. It didn't seem right, but, you know, once he was around and, like, seeing some guy from, like, the 18... Well, he's from, like, what, the early 60s or something like that? What
20s.
Era is he from? 20s, yeah. So
19 teens.
It'd be the 10s, yeah.
Yeah. But just to see him, like, interact with, like, modern stuff, like, you know, trying on different clothes. And, like, that whole clothes dressing scene was kind of a funny, like, montage to, like, old school 80 movies, how they would, like, dress and, like, put their clothes on and stuff like that in front of people just to try it out. I thought it was kind of funny nod for them to do that. The scenes with like Wonder Woman when she's fighting the guys at the inside the mall, I thought it was kind of cool, but you know some of the scenes were kind of I kind of felt like she's like a one-trick pony with her like fighting style because it's constantly that like running, fighting, kicking thing, and she does it like kind of constantly in the movies. If you guys like look back at like the other like in Man of Steel and in Wonder Woman, I think she does that same like move.
Yeah, I think it's
kind of off-putting.
It's a cool effect, but I mean, she's basically strong as Superman. So for her to like dodge stuff, well, but this is the weird part is that she can be shot by bullets. Anyway,
yeah.
But she's super strong. She can literally like punch through somebody like with ease. So for her to like have to like dodge and like slide around shit, it's like you just run at super speed and just like punch them. Or choke them or whatever, you know. But, I mean, it's a cool effect, though.
Yeah.
To me, anyway.
I mean, I'm trying to think. So, I do like they kind of, like, I've watched some other people talk about it, but, like, they did a really cool nod to Superman, like, old school Christopher Reeve Superman with when she first, like, starts to fly and, like, her whole positioning and stuff like that. People were saying it was a high nod to, like, Christopher Reeve's Superman with the whole, like, you know, stretch out your arms and, like, you know, really feel like you were flying. But for I know Wonder Woman can fly, and like she doesn't like later on in the comics they kind of got rid of the invisible jet, and she's actually able to fly. But I don't know, it just seems I don't think they took it into it because the thing with Superman, he doesn't have hair, so you don't have to worry about his hair like flopping around. But with Wonder Woman, with her flying, like it just didn't seem correct the way her hair was kind of flowing in the wind. I mean, I don't know. I still enjoyed the movie. It just there's little things that kind of took me out of the movie.
That's fair.
But then also like the whole scene with like Cheetah when they're fighting inside the inside of the White House. That part was cool. Like that fight scene was probably the best fight scene in the entire movie. Like it was probably even better than the one in the first one. But then like later on when she does become Cheetah, like I don't know, that took me out of it too. It just the CGI wasn't that great for me. I mean, it looked cool, but it just wasn't like I don't know. It took me away. Then also her having that armor on as well, kind of was like, okay, you have this badass fucking armor who this one chick had. As she like fought off 100 men, then you fucking take him to battle and damages it. Like this is like some antique shit. And you just fucked it up. Like what the hell? Come on, Wonder Woman.
Actually, I kind of like that scene. How like Cheetah was like full display of like how ferocious she was, because she was fucking her up.
Yeah,
I was like, that was really cool.
Like, I know Cheetah like with her skills in fighting, she can actually do damage to Wonder Woman. Like she can fuck Wonder Woman up. But like I don't know, she fucked up that armor, and it's like this is like some antique shit. You just fucked up Wonder Woman. Come on.
Anyway,
Yep.
Let's let the hater come in. Come on, let's give it to us.
You've been patient.
Come on. You want me to get the what? You want me to get you like some toilet paper or a bidet? What would you prefer?
I don't know. I'm speaking for the people because this movie was certified fresh, and it became stale. Which so I don't know if that's how many historically, and I don't know how the process works where you become certified fresh. But normally, when I think you're certified fresh, that means it's like you can't become unfresh. But something happened. I don't know the ins and outs of Rotten Tomatoes, so maybe Prodigy can explain that thing to me. The first 20 minutes of the film, I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed seeing young Diana do her Ninja Warrior, Amazon Warrior stuff. I thought that was really dope.
Oh, hold on, Stitch. You might want to like rewind. It's still fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's it sitting at?
61% for the critics and 73% for the audience.
Okay,
for critics, then that wouldn't be certified, right?
It still says it has tomato.
Okay.
Well, it's not certified fresh. Certified fresh is like 75. Yeah, but it definitely lost that.
Well, we're speaking for the people. The people have spoken 70%. So
let them keep going. Let them keep going.
Yeah, it's not certified fresh anymore. But
that's not the people. Anyway, go ahead.
The first, Jesus Christ, the first 20 minutes of the film were good and everything. I liked seeing her go back in as a young child, and I talked about it last week. That's what I said going in the movie. I wanted to see. I wanted to learn more about this land, and it reminds me of like when we first saw Wakanda on big screen. We were all excited. We wanted to see more about this world, how it works, and it because we've never little glimpses of it, and when Diana talks about it and stuff like that, but we get a boom intro right into it, and I'm like, oh shit, this is dope. She's like running through the forest, waterfall areas, and I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. All right, there's this like contest going on, so I'm anxious. I want to learn more about it, and then at the end of that, she learns the lesson and everything like that. Okay, I understand that. I figure this is gonna play later on into it or whatever. Then we fast forward to like the 80s, and I just happened to notice that it seems like every man in this movie is portrayed as a just disgusting pig with his like red rocket hanging out, just trying to holla 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 at everything going on in the movie. Like when I rewatched it the second time, I even picked up on some other stuff. There's like women working out in like yoga pants, and there's like a whole squad of like men that are just like standing there, just like walking. There's, I mean, as you go on later on in the movie, there's other examples of like when that guy just happens to just steal the taxi from like Diana just for whatever fucking reason. When Diana walks into the ball, we all know Diana's hot. She's fucking smoking hot, but it's like we get it. It just takes me out of it when I see people like ignoring their wives and stuff when like she just happens to like walk in the room and they're just like, oh Diana, hey, can I get you something? Can I get you something? Like, okay, I get it. She's pretty. And even when Christine Wiig's character becomes gets Diana's beauty and everything like that. Yeah, she becomes hot. I get it, but it seems like it was an overkill with that whole aspect of it. The whole mall fight scene I thought was just kind of silly, but okay, I guess if you just want to show Wonder Woman in action and establish that, yeah, there's a jewelry store with doing some secret antique stealing going on in the background. I guess that, yeah, some black market stuff. Okay, I guess. I mean, it just seemed really like corny and cheesy because it's like, okay, the guys they have guns on them and everything, and they make it a point of like these people are supposedly armed. Mall security, which happens to be armed as well for whatever reason, decides to go after them, and the guys that are running away from the police, mall security, decide to go up the escalators in the mall instead of trying to leave the mall, and just decides to just grab a girl and hold her off of the balcony as sort of a fucking, I guess, a standoff when you have a gun or whatever. I mean, yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't understand what the whole point is on that. I've seen people go into like nitpick stuff that I didn't even pick up on, like.
I think they got that idea from Michael Jackson holding his baby over that balcony.
Oh, god damn it.
People went into like crazy detail about it. It was stuff that like I didn't even notice about it, but even like they were saying like the arcade cabinets in the mall, they are not, I guess, historically correct for being like 1984. And I'm just like, okay, I didn't notice that, but that seems like something you're a little bit hating on. But as the film goes on, it progresses into this is like Aladdin meets Quantum Leap meets Cats. Where I started to have problems with it was, okay, we'll go with this whole magic rock thing, which I think is just a disservice for what could have been a much better storyline that they could have chosen just this rock grants all these wishes. And then when they further go on to establishing the rules of this rock, it's very hazy, and it just seems like it kind of makes itself up as it goes along. I understand, like, okay, in Latin it says, like, whoever possesses the rock. So I guess if you touch the rock and you say out loud whatever your wish is, you get that wish. But then we find out there's a monkey paw aspect of it, and the wish isn't really what you really completely wish for. It's got some caveats to it. And then when or Pedro Pascal's character, with Christine Wiig's character, he now can take something from you. It sort of becomes an exchange rock. I'm just like, okay, I guess. But then it's established that you get one wish. From my understanding, Cheetah got 2 wishes. I was a little bit confused on that whole aspect of it. And then the second time I was able to fit in pieces to understand like how Pedro Pascal's character possibly knew about this rock from the jump and everything. Like I understand there was a receipt in it. The rock is being looked at by the FBI. The FBI lends this rock to the Smithsonian Museum to identify it and everything, but they just don't happen to notice the receipt for who the fucking buyer of said illegal merchandise is in the actual box itself. And I'll just pass on through that part, but it just became to get a little bit more sillier, where I'm just escaping solid foundations of logic just to advance the story. Like I understand, like, yeah, we need the story to progress and everything, and that when this random dude who exists, he didn't just get poofed in the reality. He becomes inhabited by Trevor's spirit. We see all these other wishes get granted by literally just presto changeo, it's there now. You know, nuclear missiles just popping on the screen and whatever the fuck it is, forces coming out of the thing. But when she wishes for Trevor, which she does silently, she doesn't say out loud, you don't get that. You get his soul inhabited into another person's body, which, okay, maybe because the person's already dead, I guess maybe we don't want to go there with the aspect of actually physically creating something, even though other things were kind of created. Okay, I guess. But it's like, my understanding of Diana is being like a morally good person and everything. And then we get into this whole weird aspect of, okay, she's fine, and she speaks on it that she knows that this dude is somebody will and knows that he's not there anymore. But whatever, I got Trevor back. I'm cool with it. We're just gonna sleep together, and all I want to do is just lie here in your arms and spend whatever weeks in bed with you and stuff. And then after a while, she's like, "Well, I guess we should go see what this magic rock is that brought you back," kind of stuff. And I was just like, I wasn't as outraged about it, but a lot of people that I've seen talk about it online were just like, "Yo, that's highly problematic." And if this was a role reversal between, like, let's say if it was Superman, and all of a sudden it's Lois Lane is inhabiting some other female's body, and he's just like, "Yo, we're just gonna have sex," whatever, people would be like, "Yo, that's crazy, fucked up, and it's a violation of someone else's body and stuff." And I'm like, I see that point. It wasn't the first thing that clicked in my head, but it's pretty fucking valid or whatever. And it's something that I would imagine that somebody who has a high moral compass, as Wonder Woman has had, would have like realized, be like, "Yo," or whatever. Whoever this person was, he doesn't fucking exist anymore. He has a house. He's got an apartment. He has a career or whatever. He has a life, but he's just gone for whatever reason, and that doesn't concern her in the slightest bit, just because it's I got my boo back kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's a campy love story, and I wanted to see Diana be the Amazon princess warrior. I don't need her to go around snapping necks, because in Man of Steel, obviously that became a huge talking point and problematic when he snapped Zod's neck and stuff, and that was real polarizing. So she doesn't need to go out like brutalizing people and stuff like that. But I didn't. It felt really, really, really love story-ish to just be all wrapped up in fucking Trevor and everything. And I'll get back to the whole some of the stuff that she says, but as the story then further progresses with some of the leaps in logic, where Trevor, all of a sudden now we're having another fish out of water story, because we had a fish out of water story in the first one where Diane is understanding, true. Oh wow, that does that, that's cool. Now we get a whole changing montage where with clothing with Steven, just like, come on, let's keep the story going. I need yeah, maybe he tries on like 2-3 outfits, that's fine, but it just seemed to carry on really, really long. And for he's a World War I pilot or whatever, 1916 through 1918 era or whatever. He's flying a biplane, a propeller biplane or whatever. Yep. For him to be able to physically jump into a fighter jet is offensive. Like my dad's in the Air Force. Lilo's father, my father-in-law, is a Air Force pilot. He flew A-10 Warhawks. He flew that plane, that F-111 Aardvark or whatever. For somebody who has not even been around jet engines and was flying biplanes that have just like a Gatling gun nose of it, like you're the Snoopy Red Baron, for him to be able to just hop in a fucking decommissioned plane, which is at the Smithsonian Museum. It's something that doesn't work, that's now magically filled up, ready to go, and for him to just be able to hop in it and fly the fuck off or whatever. It'd be like it was like a fight at a museum, and
I'm gonna push back on you a little bit.
And just...
So you made one good point. The other point wasn't that good. The point of like having no actual jet fuel on the plane, that's a good point. But the point of like not knowing how to fly a plane, like they still basically start the same. Like he had to go through and like figure out where it was. Like he went through it. He's like he wasn't pressing the right buttons at first, but he could fucking read.
He didn't know how an escalator worked. He didn't know how the fucking escalator worked on the sidewalk. You can't tell me he's going to be able to be like, oh, I'm gonna.
Okay.
That would be like me walking.
Escalator.
Like me walking.
Go ahead, make your ridiculous point.
Yeah. Okay. That would be like me walking a star. Yes, somebody that has lived in the 20s, just all of a sudden to understand computer systems on a fucking on a jet. No, that's
because back in the if you took somebody from the 1900s, the early 1900s, that drove a car, they could drive a car today. They work basically the same. That's why when he was
Yeah.
going through like how to start shit, he's like, hold on, can give me a second. When he was like,
Okay.
how do you start the fuel? Because he was like clicking buttons. He's like, oh, that doesn't work. We need to start the fuel first. Then we got to start. Then we got to do blah blah blah. Once you start getting it started, like the actual mechanics of it are very similar.
A propeller
I have to
plane
agree
and a
with
jet engine
brothers.
plane.
Yes,
A jet,
you have to
a
like
jet?
tell the fuel to start pumping. You have to start it, and you have to know how to use the throttle to like actually get it like moving. Like those are very similar things. It's just like if you took somebody from like cars in the 1900s, early 1900s, they all know that the gas pedal makes you go. You know,
And
they
the
know how
brake
to,
makes you stop.
yeah,
And
like
the steering wheel changes your direction.
it's more complicated, which is what he mentioned even in the movie, because he was like, oh, that doesn't work, but this okay, I get it now. Like it wasn't instantaneous. He didn't jump in. It was like, oh, I get all this. He had to figure it out.
Like,
It doesn't take long though.
The plane doesn't
that
even
part's
have a
kind of iffy
propeller.
for me as well.
The propeller thing is
His own
irrelevant.
con-
That's irrelevant.
He's never seen it. He's never seen such technology before. That's like me jumping onto the Star Trek Enterprise and be like, "Yo, I know how to fly this."
But if they're
or whatever.
basically the
This is
same
no
on
problem.
how you start it and fly it, then yeah, like I keep telling you, if you take a fucking Ford Model T, and somebody knows how to drive a Model T, they know how to drive a car from today.
Well,
Mhm.
They work exactly the same. They have more bells and whistles.
I reached out to my father-in-law and I asked him specifically because I was like, you know what? He's flown planes before, and I was like, for example, and I texted and talked with him about this. I was like, you flew A-10s. How realistic would you to be able to fly an A-10 to hop into like an F-15? And I gave him and I told him what concept it was I was talking about. He's flown both before. Whether he's flown the A-10, he's flown the F-111, and he was like, no, that wouldn't fucking happen. He's like, even for him to be able to fly the A-10 to the planes of the same era, he had to go through at least 5-6 months of training. He's like, for somebody to just hop into that is ridiculous. Those are his words to pilot.
Okay,
So,
well, I'm going to tell you
his-
from
that-
my.
that's all.
Obviously, I can't speak from a personal, like your father's personal experience, but from like knowing how to operate things, like it doesn't seem that different. It doesn't seem that much of a leap to me to know how to like basically operate things. If you took somebody that operated a Model T, you put them in a Tesla, they should know how to fucking Tesla works, so they work basically the same.
We have to like get out there and start
They do.
cranking first.
They basically they work the same.
I think just from a super layman's perspective, it did seem like movie magic to me. You know, and yes, I think he was fumbling around, but I think it was a leap. It was some movie magic stuff, in my opinion. And again, I liked it. I don't think it was this terrible plot hole that like hurt my mind to conceptualize it. He is a great pilot, but he's fish out of water.
Well, it was,
I get it.
Well, it was way less
And
than the
I'll
obvious
just-
of like flying through fucking fireworks. That was a huge problem.
Yeah, it was. But
yeah, that was my next whole point or whatever. And so the plane takes off, the decommissioned plane takes off and goes into the fucking air or whatever. And he's mind blown by the concept of seeing fireworks because I have no idea. I mean,
wait, hold on,
that
really
doesn't make
quick.
sense.
You keep bringing up a decommissioned plane, but I've been on a decommissioned battleship, and it still was able to sail. So, I mean, just because it may be decommissioned, may not be in service,
Okay.
but it can still travel. Just doesn't have weapons.
Decommissioned fighter jets sitting in museums aren't going to be gassed up, and aren't going to be able to start them up and fucking take off down a runway and take them off. Into
That's
so I'll agree that it wouldn't be gassed up for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's still operable if it did have.
Well, no, if you're in a museum,
No.
that shit doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
that'd
only
be a
did
huge
something
liability.
Like, if they did something like, you know, if Wonder Woman would have said like, oh, we have these fighter planes that they're in the process of decommissioning, and this one hasn't been touched yet, that could have filled in that fucking plot hole.
They wouldn't have been chilling there or whatever. But I'll go on. So we get into the invincible jet aspect of it. So that
I don't know.
she talks about, yeah, there's this one time whatever my father had to turn Themyscira invisible, blah blah. I've never done it before except this one time with a coffee cup or whatever. And she's in a weakened power state at this point because Trevor exists. We saw she had trouble opening the lock to even get into the garage. She couldn't break the lock, but as whatever she decides, she focuses really hard and turns said plane invisible. Plane vanishes off the radar, which no, that wouldn't. It's not really how radar.
That is how magic works. Like,
goddammit.
what the fuck? Come on, man. Don't nitpick. Don't get too nerdy.
It's a magic
Don't
plane.
get too nitpicky with this shit.
I can let,
With magic.
I can let
That
that
wasn't
one
nitpicky.
fly.
That is nitpicky. The fuck?
Nitpicky was the video game cabinets, which I said I passed on.
But you said it
when I'm
anyway?
watching this, I did. Did you not hear what I said? I specifically said other people are saying this.
God.
I didn't notice it at the time.
He let that go. He let that go. But
yeah, exactly.
I will admit, but it is. I mean, Diana does literally say, Steve, you're not. I don't know how to explain this to you, but radar is something where they can see us even if you're in the clouds or whatever. And then they do the little magic stuff with the invisible jet. And I mean, we've seen movie magic, even alien magic in plenty of movies, disappear planes from radar. Like, right?
But then don't say it.
No, if you think of
why would you not?
With
What the fuck?
Themyscira doesn't show up on any like maps or anything because like they can't fucking find it, and I think that's why they can't see the plane. Like
It's
they
just
have all
like
this technology to map the land and stuff like that, but like you don't see, like nobody's discovered it yet, so that's the reason why the plane doesn't show up on the radar.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at it from that aspect.
It's magic. Like, I don't understand why you're trying to apply fucking science of radar with magic.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm just saying. That we just chalk it up to magic and just keep the plot moving along.
Well, just like all of her powers. Stop! The whole fucking movie is based on magic, man. What the fuck are you talking about? You got a problem? The whole movie is based on magic. You got a problem with her fucking lassoing lightning and fucking clouds and shit and fucking.
I like.
You're breaking up. Hold on. Hold on. Say what you said again.
Shit.
You broke up. Say what you said
It's
again.
a magic trick.
You were breaking up. Say what you said like 30 seconds or 5 seconds ago.
I was saying when you establish the rules of the universe and the magic that already exists, I am completely fine with it. And then whatever happens later on, you using said magic. Don't all of a sudden be like, yo, there's this magic thing that happened and we're gonna do it right now. Boom. Yeah, we did it. Oh yeah, because the magic or whatever. Like no, like
what?
That could explain in the beginning. If she had talked about it rather than in the heat of the moment, being like, yo, there's this time I made something invisible, so I'm gonna do it right now. Like that's just, to me, that's lazy.
Whoa. She did. Wait, we just talked about this before. She mentions that Themyscira is invisible.
What I just fucking say? What I just say?
You were breaking up, so we actually had no idea.
She mentioned it in the plane when the plane's taking off.
Can I just quickly say I miss being able to do this in the same room. Can't nobody break down a movie like that? Holy shit! Okay, go ahead. All right, she's in the plane.
So yeah, the whole plane. I've been going on for long, so I'll try to fucking speed it up or whatever. Like, and then as the plot I say Magic Rock, and she talks about like the languages of the gods and there were evil gods and stuff like that. That would have been fucking awesome to explain in the beginning part of the movie back in the day when she was a kid and stuff like that, to establish my understanding of what it is that she is aware of, what is going on in this world, and all this other stuff. That would have been fucking awesome, and I would have loved it, and I would have ate it up with a spoon to explain to her about all these evil gods, their names, their ability to sort of enchant objects and stuff like that. That would have been really cool. But when it's 2 hours into the movie and wishes have already been granted, we're finding out, all right, there's this monkey paw aspect of it, and her being like, yes, that's right. My dad told me about back in the day, or whatever, there were evil gods, and evil gods did this. I just don't know which evil god it was. I'm just like, okay, get it, explain that like a little bit sooner or whatever, and I would have been completely fine with it.
So in the first movie, who was
Wait,
in the first movie, who was the villain? In the
I'll
fir-
answer Ares.
Zeus, Ares.
Ares.
Yeah.
and what was he the god of?
War.
And,
Ares is the god of war.
and when did you know that in the movie, in the first movie? That he was the actual villain in the movie and he was the god of war. It was way later in the movie. You didn't even know who the fuck he was.
Well, no. I got to point. That's not quite. I did see it just recently. You do get even towards the beginning. The whole reason why she's leaving Themyscira is because she wants to chase after the god of war because Trevor tells her about the war to end all wars. So you do get some of that in the beginning.
Yeah, but
For the
it's
first
like
movie.
Yeah, I'm. My memory of how stuff breaks along in Wonder Woman 1 is a little bit rusty right now, so I can't comment fully on how that whole thing breaks down. I love Wonder Woman 1.
So, wait. So Stitch, you have an issue with a magical jet, but you're okay with Spidey not showing signals of his spider senses?
We already went through this.
Don't bait him. Don't bait him with Spidey.
Yeah,
Don't bait him with
oh my
Spidey.
gosh.
Let's stay
I'm
focused on one.
Don't-
you.
Don't do it.
Up here drinking your twisted tea.
Yeah, let me. He's on pause, so let me get a couple quick. Let me get a couple quick things in. In terms of some things that I really did enjoy, and I think that this is kind of important. Towards the very end, with Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord, some people didn't like it, some people loved him, whatever. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. You actually see quite a bit of his backstory in terms of him being a victim of a home with domestic violence and abuse towards him by his father, being a bedwetter, being bullied.
Watching his mom getting beat?
Watching his mom literally getting beat. Let's be very, very clear. To my knowledge, in PG-13 comic book movies, and you tell me if I'm wrong, if you can think of one off the top of your head, I hadn't seen even glimpses of that serious issue of domestic violence really being touched upon, despite it being certainly something that we've all talked about is part of the mythology with Hank Pym and Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man and whatnot in the Avengers. Obviously, MCU didn't want to touch that at all. I actually respect them for actually going there with that. And then secondly, I really do respect the fact that there is overt sexual harassment in this movie. And both Cheetah and Diana... Yeah, both Cheetah and Diana are experiencing it. Obviously, Diana handles it very differently from Cheetah. Diana saves Cheetah or Dr. Minerva from a potential rape. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, more to your point,
Well,
your point number one about seeing domestic violence is because we all know why you respect it. It's because you hate women, so we know you love to see it. So it's all good.
Damn. He hates women. He loves footage. He hates women and loves footage.
Another pothole in the movie is that, like, maybe I missed it, but, like, the whole health with Max Lord, like, how come, like, it wasn't the wishes that were making him get all fucked up, or was it, like, his health condition to begin with was all
Yeah,
fucked
it was
up?
the first thing that, this is what they didn't explain well. Anytime somebody makes a wish, the wish takes from you. So it has to take something from you. That's why Diana lost her powers. It wasn't because that Cheetah wished for her powers. It's the fact that she wished for her for Steve to come back. That's the reason why she lost some of her power.
And I got that later on in the movie.
Well, the first impression I got was that, like, okay, when you make a wish, somebody else that makes a wish can steal whatever abilities you have. That's the first impression I got at first. That's why I was like, what the fuck is going on with this whole wish thing? Like, it wasn't really written very well.
Yeah, no, the reason the wish thing is so Maxwell Lord could keep living. That's the reason why he was getting all fucked up, is because he made a wish. He basically became the djinn. He became the wishes. But for that to happen, the wish had to take from him, like the stone had to take from him. That's why he had to keep granting wishes at any cost, so that he can take from them.
Yep.
And that's why in the end he needed to take from all the wishes to like make himself better. They didn't do it.
Now,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, sorry, I didn't mean to do something. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think that a lot of people really understood that, and I can understand why they didn't understand that. It's easy to like misunderstand because it's only mentioned like really once in the whole movie.
Yep.
And that's easy. It's easy to miss. So
The thing that I did miss, and I'm going to watch it for a second time. Again, I enjoyed it as a whole, but it should have been, to me, made much clearer the second wish aspect of Barbara, because she's already super strong. She's already popular. She already has all the things that she says that she wanted. And then there was this giant leap of, especially for people who aren't familiar with the character Cheetah, to go from being almost demigod level power strength, and then I want to be an apex predator cat.
Yeah.
That part was a leap that should have been explained to me a bit better.
well, I mean, she said she wanted to be an apex predator, and they just kind of picked a random one. So
Yeah.
When
Well,
I mean,
I'm glad they
why
didn't
not
do,
a
like,
lion?
they didn't have her. Well, I like they didn't have her like
Or
a
shark.
crazy cat lady. Like she always wore leopard prints, or she had like a cheetah on her desk, and that's why she became a cheetah. Like, I'm glad they didn't do that route with her.
Yeah, but it's still, when I hear apex predator, I mean, there's obviously anybody who loves animals, there's like several dozen apex predators.
well,
It just seemed very random that, okay, now I'm
didn't
cat
seem so bad.
cat cheetah lady, you know?
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's like somebody mentioned a lion. It's like, I mean, lions are apex predators, but they also hunt in packs. So cheetahs don't hunt in packs. They're just
A, a jaguar, you know, an eagle is an apex. I mean, you can go on and on.
Yeah, great white shark.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
That'd
she
have
told
been
me
hilarious. That'd have been the best. 'Cause
King
she
shark,
just,
gonna king
well,
shark.
guess what? You're a shark
I mean,
now. Guess
so-
you're dead.
Yeah, I mean that would have been fucked up if she was turned into King Shark, because there is a Shark Man in DCEU. I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't expect that, but
Yeah,
You know what
that's
also-
where I got confused when on my second watch through. That's sort of the part where I just finished, and I didn't have time to sort of rewatch and make sure I completely understood it, because she does specifically say, "Oh, I want to be Diana" or whatever,
Mhm.
and all that stuff. So that was clear blown. She wished that, and then time after that whole scene that takes place in the White House, she gets on the helicopter or plane with Max, and he says something along the lines about, "I'm feeling generous." He says,
Mhm.
I can remake the rules, or I can change the rules, or whatever."
Yep.
And I'm just like, that's why I was like, whoa, I'm so confused right now, because it made it seem like they have to touch Max physically and then say, "I wish blah blah blah," and then it's kind of changed where he can kind of like be like, "You wish to be rich, don't you?" And if the person says yes, then that wish is granted, and then he'll be like, "Yeah, well, I'm going to take your whatever, your blah 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 blah." So when she got the second thing, I was really confused. I was like, "Oh, so there's second ones now," and I couldn't really understand how that whole aspect of it worked, and it made it really confusing.
Couple of things.
Yeah.
Then
It's funny. I think Patty Jenkins watched Dragon Ball Z, and she was like, "Okay, you can make wishes this way, but then we're gonna change the wishes later on in the series. That's how it's gonna work."
The way
Get in
that
there,
I
Kronos. Go
understood
ahead.
when he said that, the way I understood it is that she was going to ask for a wish, and then he was not going to ask for anything in return. On every other single wish that somebody made, he has something in return.
Yeah.
So that was the main thing. And then also, if you're talking about like the physical contact thing, I guess they were touching the same plane. Maybe that was it. If you want to be like, "Oh, that's ridiculous, Cronus," well, motherfucker granted wishes through particles, so shut the fuck up.
Well, that's what I was going to get. I mean, yeah, on the rock it says it's for itself. Yeah, whoever touches it, then he says, "I'm going to become the rock now." So I had no problem with that. It's not to the particle thing. The whole particle thing is when I was like, "Yo, we're changing shit again,"
Yeah,
because
that's
he's in the White House. They're explaining how it works, and he's like, "Well, what's this on this technology that you just happen to have scribbled up here in the White House or whatever?" Okay, and he specifically asked, he's like, "The particles you are sending are touching everyone?" And the guy says, the president, I'm sorry, not the guy. The president says, "It's a figure of speech, but yes."
I mean, our
Or
president
whatever.
is just a guy, but yeah.
So I'm like, what the? Just
Movies-
particles are.
Movie magic, man. You got to go with it. But
Yeah,
I got a
just
question.
like,
I got a
okay.
question for you guys, though. I got a question. Besides Barbara with Maxwell, like obviously when he was trying to get the stone or whatever, and they're getting kind of hot and heavy. Did you get the strong impression that like Barbara not only admired Diana but kind of had a thing for her? Is that just me?
I wanted them to go. I wanted that romance. I would have much rather had that. Not just being no like that would have been a much compelling storyline. And I thought it was really interesting because there was some sort of weird chemistry going on. Because at the dinner, you're like, "Oh, have you ever been in love?" Blah blah blah. And I was just the way that they were interacting, and she was looking. I was like, "Okay."
There's no man in Democera. They could have went that route.
And it's sort of, and I don't know if there is in the comics if there is actually like from canon where those two have a romantic relationship. I'm not familiar with the Cheetah character itself.
It's what I was mentioning at the end of the movie. They don't have a romantic relationship, but they do have a relationship as far as like being on the same team. And it's later on in the comics where they're on the same side. So I think that's why she's at the end of the movie as like still being alive, but probably still has her powers and didn't renounce them because I think it's going to set up a good relationship between Wonder Woman and Cheetah. And I think it'd be a really good next movie. I don't know who the next villain would be, but it'd be really cool to see them on the same side.
They have a serious friendship and bond as well. Like the actual Barbara, prior to Cheetah and all that with Diana, and so. But here was the thing that got me. I was just like, okay, you're just meeting her. You're looking all gazing in her eyes, and you're like, hey, you want to go out to dinner? You know what I mean?
So from that, I thought she just needed a friend. I didn't know she was trying to lip lick with her. So I was just like, I mean, but now that you mention it, I'm gonna have to watch again and be like, oh shit, maybe they were trying to scissor. You never know. But even if Barbara did renounce her powers, there's other objects in the DCU where she can become a Cheetah again, because in the comics she's cursed. She's cursed through like a totem or whatnot, and Diana tries to help her turn back into a human. And there's also ones where the longer she stays a Cheetah, the longer she's going to not be able to be cured and stuff like that. Well, so that could be addressed or whatnot. So there's plenty of ways for Cheetah to come back, even if she did not renounce her powers. And honestly, if she did,
they gave this version of Cheetah like the tamest Cheetah ever. Like she was not fucking trying to feast on man flesh all the time. You know what I mean? Like, and that was like in the comics, she was like, I need that man flesh to eat it, not to fucking suck it. She was like eating motherfuckers. So I think this is a very tame version of Cheetah.
That it goes back to, even though it was before she was Cheetah, it goes back to what I was trying to say. I wanted Minerva to be a little bit more ruthless. Like I'm okay with Wonder Woman not being as ruthless. And for example, you don't see her with a sword at all in this one. It's all rope, which I did like. But Minerva could have killed that dude who literally tried to rape her, and I would have been like,
on that rape aspect of it, it's like I thought it was kind of weird that we're supposed to understand that now she's gone beyond the point of no return because she beat up a guy that's trying to sexually assault her.
Yeah.
Like I was like, why all of a sudden are we looking at her like she's the bad person this whole fucking thing?
Yeah.
And the other homeless dude is like, yo, Barbara, what are you doing? Or,
yeah.
This is the second time he tried to fucking whatever, stick his dick in me or whatever the fuck he's trying to do.
Now he's definitely unconscious. He's definitely been taken out. So on one hand, I'm like, okay, yes, it would be basically killing of someone who's in a coma, who's a bad person, an evil, fucked up guy. But at the same time, if you're a villain, I think it would have made sense for the plot quite a bit.
No, can we touch a little bit on Wonder Woman running? Because I mean, I talk about the whole flying and hair breathing and stuff like that, but her whole running thing was like, it was like watching fucking Smallville with like Tom Wellington running in place. It was like, like you could be on a, like it was kind of bad. I mean, what's your guys take on the whole running?
They could have done like the flash
Like,
thing. You know, I think they should have just used the flash effect. To be honest with you, I mean, it was kind of odd, but I mean, they had to show that how she was faster than everybody else. But I think when you want to do speed, using the flash effect is more effective on showing speed because it seems way more. It seems way less awkward than running like T1000.
it looked like she was on, like they had her on a harness, and they were like rolling her through the city, and she was like running, but like she wasn't touching the ground, but they made it look like she was on the ground. It just wasn't really well done.
Oh, go ahead, old ninja.
I was gonna say what you described is literally what they did for her. At least when she's in DC running, like when she's in what's she Georgia or Cairo? When she's in Cairo running, they just show her upper body and stuff, and it's like the running sequence looks super awkward, and she like cocks her head to the side, and I'm like, is she really running, or are they just like
She's like
speed up the camera to? Yeah, it was kind of weird, but. What Blue just described, though, is what they did for the run scene in DC. They put her on a harness, her and her stunt woman. And they had like a conveyor belt to where it made her speed past everybody else, and she had to run onto it, and then it picked up where she was. She had to match its speed and whatnot, and then they hoist her up onto the harness. So that's pretty much how they pulled it off. I mean, what you described is what they did.
Like
So according to
they didn't need to do the quicks. I was gonna say they didn't need to do like the Quicksilver effect or the flash effect where everything is just super slow around them, but it just looked really weird that like her legs are sort of moving at like a really, but she's just covering like crazy ground or whatever, and it just looked a little bit wonky to me.
Well, the weird thing is that if you're this is what from like a physics standpoint, if you're super strong and you're running fast, you would sort of look like that if you were running, because you would have so much strength in your legs that you would be bounding way more forward than a normal person.
So,
but it's still.
Terms of,
go ahead.
I was going to say, in terms of DC mythology, like folks don't appreciate the fact that both Wonder Woman and Cheetah are top 10 in like the speed category, and they are fast as fuck. They're supposed to be. I will concede you don't get a true appreciation for either character's real speed. Yes, they're faster than a human, and you do see that, but you don't really get a relative speed from the standpoint of they're fast, even for superhero alien standpoint. Well, they're fast as fuck.
I think that with Cheetah's speed, they did a way better job because she looked fast as fuck. Like she looked like when she was like whipping Wonder Woman's ass, like she looked really fast and overwhelming. And I think they did a really good job with her. It didn't seem so far-fetched of like that one running scene when Wonder Woman like running down the street when she like looked awkward running down the street. With Cheetah though, the way that she was moving, because obviously it was CGI, she looked like the real deal as far as speed goes because she was fast all the time and using different angles and just constantly attacking. I thought that was a really cool effect that they did.
She was cat-like. I'll give her that.
Yeah,
she was very cat-like.
Yeah. So then on the very last part, I guess, of the movie,
the fuck?
Where she confronts.
Now get it out. No. I appreciate this.
I need answers because when she has the confrontation where Max is granting all these wishes, granted, like he's Oprah or whatever, she can't get to him. Why? Because it looks like just the wind is blowing really hard and she can't physically get there. Am I missing something? I didn't get to that part of my second watch.
There is a wind from the wishes that happened.
Can I just say this really quickly? Because I went back and watched the first Wonder Woman, there is precedent. With Ares, if you recall, in that fight, she tries to use the lasso of truth as well during that battle scene. And because of the power or strength of Ares or an aura, whatever, she's unable to use it. So the rope is basically reflected or can't get onto Ares at all, and you see that with Pedro as well.
And he was gaining
she
power.
got it on him though.
But it took a while. At first, she wasn't able to get it on there. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And then when shit does get back to normal or whatever. And I'll overlook the part on how fucking Max can somehow get back into the presidential helicopter after he doesn't have presidential powers, fly all the way back and get his son, whatever. But
Movie magic.
yeah. So when the wishes are renounced, history doesn't just vanish. That shit did technically still happen, correct? Because
Yes.
it wouldn't be what just fucking happened or whatever. So the whole entire world being pretty much launching nuclear weapons at one another, they all remember that, and they all knew just after the fact, like, oh shit, we have missiles coming for us. Russia fired at us. Oh shit, United States are firing on. Like, that still happened. And I would imagine that there are ramifications to all this other crazy shit was going on in the world in terms of, like, the Middle East and other countries with world conflict or whatever, but it just kind of seems glossed over in terms of, like, where we go from here. We find to his son. I don't even know if Max is in jail or not, or whatever. And we get the Linda Carter scene, which I thought was great. I love seeing Linda Carter. She's fucking ageless.
Still looks good. Linda looked real good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So
I gotta see her hips though.
I'm confused in terms of the ramifications of everything that fucking just happened with essentially the entire world being on fire and stuff. I guess there's no where are they going to pretend like that didn't happen?
I don't know.
It seems like there's a lot of questions.
I mean, if you can kill half the universe in the MCU, and everybody be fine about that, and nobody really talk about it. About, hey, you probably got a relationship after like 4 or 5 years of everybody being dead, probably your spouse or whatever. Then I can let that go. Like, that's just chalk up to movie magic. Because like seriously, there's plot holes in all of these, superhero movies have their issues with shit like that. Where, like, you have a major world event, and then all of a sudden the next movie everything's fine. That's how comics work.
We have. It's what 40 years between '84 and Dawn of Justice. So,
I don't want to rewatch Batman vs Superman or whatever really ever again. So how was it that Batman found Wonder Woman?
Photos.
Yeah, photos. There was that one photo from World War I.
But they met at Lex Luthor's party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But he had already been researching.
I was kind of confused on in terms of if they're all connected. All these movies are supposed to be connected, or if Wonder Woman itself, 2017, and then Wonder Woman 84 are their own separate thing, and we're not supposed to tie it with others.
Now, Batman vs Superman and Justice League might not be canon. Talking about making that a whole nother fucking universe.
They might do some weird shit. It's loosely connected. It's more connected to obviously the first Wonder Woman than it is anything else. But really quickly, one other quick thing I did think that was touching. I missed it, and someone spoiled it for me on Twitter. Remember Steve Trevor's secretary? When you see that quick photo of her with someone basically at Ellis Island on a boat or whatever, that's her with the older version of Steve Trevor's secretary. So I thought that was kind of a nice touch.
For some reason,
close that loop.
I thought that was Steve's mom for some reason.
Yeah, they didn't explain it very well.
Yeah, and also there's a picture of her at his ranch.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say, Blue?
No, I was saying, like, it was clear that was the lady, because, like, they're all going through, like, the pictures and photo shoots, like, how time has passed by. I'm like, oh, that's the lady that was Steve Trevor's secretary. But, I don't know, the CGI work in this movie wasn't that great.
So is this a top 10 comic book movie of all time, like you were screaming from the mountains, Prodigy?
So I'm gonna say for me, I'm still chewing on it. I need to see it one more time. It's definitely, for my personal taste, in the top 15, maybe even top 12. But I have to see it one more time to truly evaluate it fairly. Again, I did like this. It left me with a whole bunch of hope. I'm actually going to say this. I actually liked it a little bit better than the first one. It was kind of inspiring. I liked the hopeful aspect of it, not in a non-cynical way, and I like her using the lasso of truth as her primary weapon. I really do.
We also got to
And
see her use the
I
tiara,
like
which was kinda
Pedro.
cool.
Yeah, the stuff with the tiara. I dug what they were trying to put down. I like her being less naive, even though the first one it certainly worked because she was right out of Themyscira and into the world of that she didn't know. But obviously, she's more seasoned and aware in this one. And Pedro Pascal's had a good year, man. I'll just
Oh
say
yeah,
that
I'll say
he
Wait,
went
that.
wait,
from.
no, wait, before you say that, did you watch We Can Be Heroes on Netflix yet?
I saw half
I
of it
might take that
because my
way.
kids like. Yeah, I saw half of it, or maybe a third of it, because my kids were enjoying it. But it's not my type of movie. Go ahead.
Do you have a number rating for it?
Oh yeah, wait.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm
Here,
still chewing.
Okay.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I'm somewhere in the eights. I'm not at nines, but I'm somewhere in the eights. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think I usually give it like probably top 10, if not top 5 DC movies.
Oh
I think
yeah, for
that's pretty
sure.
safe to say. I think it's still a good movie. I definitely enjoyed it. I would give it a solid 8.
Hmm.
Yeah, because if you want to, if you can nitpick any fucking comic book movie, because
Of
they
course.
all these comic book movies they bend reality. They have plot holes of some sort. They have things that cannot be explained. But then there's always like magic or some shit you can't explain. It's the way fucking comics work. They're supposed to be fantastical.
Hmm.
So
Go
for
ahead.
me, I'm gonna give this movie a 7.
7-0.
You know, like yeah, just a solid 7. It's a little. It was like I said, it was. I enjoyed it. There were some continuity issues and like I don't know. See, I probably watched it again, but I'll probably turn off like my vivid mode on my TV because sometimes it kind of boosts up
It's too bright.
the frame per second or whatever.
Oh,
So yeah, I gotta change that up and see what it looks like after that. But yeah, I'll give it a 7. I think it's as far as DC movie wise, I think I would say Man of Steel is probably like I would say yeah, it's probably in the top 5 because it's like Man of Steel, Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman 1, and then this one. I enjoyed Man of Steel. Batman vs Superman was okay when you watch
how?
the
Hold the fuck on.
the ultimate.
How the
I
fuck
mean,
was Batman not like no Batman movie is in your fucking on your list?
well, I don't take the Christopher Nolan movies and stuff as part of the MCEU.
Oh, I'm just
Or
saying.
DC.
It's like
Okay.
no, the DCEU. Sorry, I'm talking about like the whole like they're trying to do
Okay.
the Avengers
I
route
gotcha.
type deal.
I'm,
If I throw that shit in there, one would be like number 10 or some shit.
okay.
Old Ninja.
Yeah, I'm with Blue. I would give this definitely a solid 7 for me. I think the first film was vastly superior. I felt there was more hopefulness in the first one. I think part of it was because of her naivety, which worked out I think better in the first film. But I enjoyed this film, but I don't think it surpassed the first one. I do think I feel like this is setting up more events for the DCEU that we're going to see later on. Um, but yeah, there are certain things that like we're discussing here that there's certain things in the film that could have been explained better, and to me that's what dropped it down a bit. Um, some of the effects weren't as stellar as we're used to from other films, but overall, I enjoyed the film, but I don't think it was better than the first film. Definitely top 5 of the DCEU for sure for me. But overall, it was just like decent. It wasn't like I wasn't blown away. Put it that way.
All right, let's go with Ebenezer.
The realist says that this was a 4.
Ooh.
This was better than Suicide Squad. Suicide
Okay.
Squad is still at the very bottom.
Wait, you saw
I did-
Bird of Paradise? That's not lower.
Birds of Prey.
The Paradise.
Paradise. I love it. I love it. Keep fucking up that name. I love it.
Oh, that's so fucking hilarious. Oh my god, I'm still trying to digest Birds of Prey because that was bad. However,
So fucking bad.
I think that they were true to Harley's character. Like the plot and the story didn't make sense and all this other dumb shit, but at least they understood the character. I felt like this was a major step back from the first Wonder Woman in terms of the character building that they did with Diana. So yeah,
4. God
I-
damn.
4.
So here's what I gotta ask: if you put this against the X-Men movies,
Oh, gee.
like, because wasn't Dark Phoenix? Dark Phoenix was like around a 4 for you. You're saying this is on that level, just to be clear.
That's a good question because that did pop in my mind or whatever. And I'm a X-Men fanboy. My fucking daughter's named after an X-Men. My dog's named after a fucking X-Men character. And I've said before many times, all those X-Men movies are bad except for, in my opinion, First Class and X2. This is better than Apocalypse.
Okay.
I would have Dark Phoenix. I didn't like Dark Phoenix, but it's like it's so weird because it's like I knew what I was going into with these X-Men movies. Like I've conditioned myself for just pain and misery since X3 or whatever. So I don't have high expectations, and they still disappoint me or whatever. I don't want to contradict myself and someone to be like, well, you gave this number to one of the X-Men movies, but I think this is better than the X-Men movies, except for
Okay.
First Class and X in that logjam.
Fair. I mean, it is what it is. What it is. This is why
And
people listen.
Logan, I keep forgetting, but Logan is obviously in its own tier itself. But
Yeah.
All right, where are we going next,
There-
man?
Should we talk about some of the real stuff that's been going on? I mean, we had a fucking Christmas Day bombing. God damn it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ooh, yeah.
yes,
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love superheroes too, but shit, I was shocked as fuck about this. What did you guys think of? They arrested the guy.
I wasn't
Oh, I'm
shocked.
sorry. The guy
I
died.
thought
My
he
bad. My
died,
bad.
I-
Yeah,
Come on.
he died.
his pieces.
Hold on, I
They
got to
found-
use.
his foot.
I got to use the
found.
bathroom.
They identified him. I mean.
I got to use the
Okay.
bathroom, but I'll make 2 points. All right, before I use the bathroom, 2 points. 1, I was not surprised that there was a bombing on Christmas Day, and 2, I wasn't surprised of the ethnicity of the person that did it.
Yeah.
Damn.
They did not even dance around the whole aspect of suicide bomber, like flat out. You know, this was not categorized in that way. I don't have his name like readily handy, but
Fuck yeah.
this is a
Don't worry. I don't want to look him up to give recognition to his name because the guy was an asshole for
I'd
doing
gladly
it.
say that idiot's name.
yeah, but I mean this is Nashville, Tennessee, Christmas morning, and destruction of a whole lot of property. I don't think anybody died other than him, but no matter, this was a huge bombing. What did you guys get?
This is what it's so. I don't even know. Can't think of the proper word to describe just how underreported
Yeah.
this has been. Anthony Warner and it's just my personal preference. I have no problem saying these idiots' names because I hope that anybody that connected with this person, if they were complicit or whatever, drag them or whatever, dog walk them, and shame their fucking names or whatever. It happened on Christmas, and it's like this is where it gets weird. And I've been kind of trying to look into it and just keep my ears open, but it's like I feel like I have to do digging to get information on what happened. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't blasted what this dude's name was. I had to go like look to see what this dude even looked like, or try to even find like a backstory on this guy. All I knew was that it was described as an intentional explosion, which is some words I've never fucking heard before ever used.
Ain't that some wordsmithing?
Yeah, exactly. An intentional explosion. Can you say it simpler for me or whatever?
Yeah.
Suicide bomber is, I mean, intentional explosion. They're so fucking cute and kitty with these words now. It's like Disney is trying to rewrite headlines and stuff like that. We're just gonna make this. It's Christmas, so let's make it family friendly. So we'll use an intentional explosion or whatever.
It was a still bombing.
Yeah. And it's thankfully initially they said maybe 3 people were injured, but when it was first reported, I was like, how the fuck is nobody fucked up?
Yeah.
Because what was coming out, it was like downtown Nashville. I've never been to Nashville, but I've heard Nashville's an amazing fucking city. It's like kind of like Austin, where it's like you can just walk up and down the streets, drink, hear all kinds of live music, and it's a blast. So I was like, oh shit, that's fucking crazy. But then you hear all these details about, like, I guess the police knew beforehand that there was a bomb in there, and I've heard things about, I guess there was music playing or some sort of announcement coming from the vehicle that
There was like
it's gonna blow.
an audio of a countdown. That's what I heard.
Yeah. So I get, and it sucks because I would love to hear how this whole thing was discovered, how they found out it was a bomb or whatever in there, and how they ended up clearing the area. If it was detonated, or if it just went off when the countdown got to 0. If the person, I guess the person was inside alive and maybe he set it off. I have no fucking idea because there's no widespread reporting on it. But thankfully nobody else got killed except for the dude Anthony Warner that did it. I haven't heard anything about his motivations except that there was an ex-girlfriend that said that he was going to be remembered forever kind of deal, and that possibly the police or the FBI, somebody was told about this months ago. But I would love to have like a major news outlet like fucking look into this, and you could let us know why there was a fucking suicide bombing on American soil in a major metropolitan city on Christmas. And why the president of the United States is just ho-hum about it.
Golfing. Didn't even mention the shit. Hasn't called Nashville mayor.
He was golfing.
The fuck?
I'm so confused. I was like, did this even really happen? Was this a hoax?
I'm not confused. Listen, I hate to sound kind of fucking racist.
Go ahead.
But I'm gonna sound kind of racist. All right. The president knew what most brown people know in America. Ain't nobody brown in America gonna fucking bomb anything in fucking Tennessee. Nobody. So he knew, and like most people knew, that it was likely domestic terrorism. Which, that's what it was. It was another person that will get probably a footnote in history of a laundry list of people that are Caucasian that have done horrific things in this country that, you know, we focus on just the brown people for some reason. Well, I know what the reason is, but, you know, every time you see a fucking school shooting, who the fuck's the shooter usually? 99% of the time. Who's the shooter? I mean, come on. And these are, and people want to talk about black on black violence, but why don't you talk about these people that are also committing acts of violence? Why isn't this a big deal in America right now? I don't understand why people get so uncomfortable while talking about it. It's fucking bullshit, and people need to like wake up and see like, hey, like, especially right now. The reason why I said I wasn't surprised right before I left is because you have this president who ran his campaign on "Make America Great Again." The way that most people like me take that is, when are you talking about? Like, when was America great besides like up until, you know, 2016? When was it better for us? Was it in fucking 1945? Was it in 1950? Was it 1960s, 1970s, 1980s? When are you talking about? Like, seriously, he probably wasn't talking about the fucking 80s or 90s because he was dog whistling all his stupid ass followers because he knew it was a time where white people were on top. Guess what? You're still fucking on top.
Yep.
Like, you're still there. But the fact that, you know, you have to share a little bit, that's where people get fucking angry about it. And the fact that the people that are poor white Americans, they now have an enemy to point at brown people. It's fucking wrong. You're not poor because of brown people. You're poor because of the same reason that I was poor, is because the fucking corporations don't give a shit about you. It's because when they build a fucking cage, they're building it for everybody that happens to be at that same income level. All right. So the fact that you got included is just the state eating their own. Like, they don't give a fuck about you. And the fact that you had this guy talking about MAGA this, MAGA that, for years and years and years, and then now he lost an election. He lost an election. All right. The fact that this is a fucking argument at this point is the problem. This is why I'm not surprised that this happened. I'm surprised that it hasn't happened more. I'm surprised that there hasn't been more violence that has happened because of this. Because you have this president that keeps saying that he didn't lose the election. We're gonna fight for this. Proud Boys, stand back, stand by. All this other dog. It's not even fucking dog whistling. It's on a goddamn megaphone at this point. Yeah. So the fact that people don't really seem to understand that kind of shit, or just try to pretend that they don't understand that kind of shit, it's like he's inciting these things in a certain population of America, and they're going to answer. And this is some of the answering. I mean, come on, like who the fuck are we fooling here?
What's crazy is like I tried. Sorry, real quick. I tried to Google I typed in I Googled Cruz bombing Nashville 2020 Trump, and there's like the first 3 pages. There's nothing about Trump saying anything about it. I mean, only thing they show is that Trump was playing golf when it all happened.
Because he knows that it would hurt. It would damage himself to his base.
Yep. He don't give a shit.
And people were more outraged at the Walgreens that were painted and trash cans being lit on fire than they were about a fucking suicide bomber in an RV full of explosives going off in a downtown area in a major metropolitan city.
Like the first time I heard about this,
I'm so pissed. The broken windows at the Target. These people are out of control. I don't care if they're upset because police are murdering people in the street or whatever. They shouldn't be acting like that. But on Christmas, this fucking RV just fucking blew up downtown. I don't care, whatever. That ain't my concern right now.
It destroyed.
Out of control.
Let's just be really clear. It destroyed several buildings, like a block or two, or something. Like it was no small explosion. Yeah.
What was interesting too was that there was a black police officer who was like going like building to building, telling people like, "Hey, there's a bomb," like getting people out. And he was caught in the blast, but he wasn't killed by it. But like he lost his hearing in one of his ears, something like that. But like the dude's a fucking hero. Like he actually put his life on the line and saved people's lives.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to be clear about something. Like when I talk about like these, it sounds like racist shit, but to me it's not racist. I call them like I see them. When I see a bunch of like gangbangers shooting people, they're in the same realm. All right, they're in the same piece of shit realm. And the fact that a lot of the media is so quick to talk about black on black violence and gang violence and all this other bullshit, but then when you have these people that look a certain way walk into a fucking a movie theater and shoot it up, and we don't talk about that, but meanwhile it's okay to talk about this ethnic group that has gang violence, but they didn't, go ahead.
And really quickly too, though, there have been direct, blatant racist attacks, like obviously the Dylan Roof and several others, where they're going into a black church, to shoot something up, or going into a Walmart in a Latino town, or I think maybe in Ohio there was a bowling alley where predominantly older black people were just doing something innocent like bowling, and just got shot up last week. There's so many incidents I can't even keep track of, but when you overtly go after, just like with the Orlando shooting a few years ago in the gay nightclub, if you're going into a predominantly black or gay or Latino establishment, and you commit acts of violence, what you're trying to target. Like, let's be clear, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're doing that on purpose.
Who doesn't when someone's going to commit an act of violence with like either explosion, gun, knife, even rape? They have a picked out victim. Usually they do their homework and case them. They either case the area, case the person. They have a plan, whether either super intricate or loosely put together, one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wish that people would be more equal with their outrage when it comes to types of violence. It's like people were talking all that shit against, oh well, we have COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter. Where was the same outrage from that same side when the Proud Boys marched on DC for the presidency that Trump lost, even though they thought that he won, which he obviously didn't win because people are fucking morons. The latest thing that I saw was them saying that, oh well, Biden only won like 113 counties in America or something. Let's say some random. I think it was like in the hundreds. Like, how did that happen? I'm like, well, the 113 that he won is where most people fucking live, you idiot. There's counties in the Midwest where there's like not even 1,000 fucking people. There's 10 million people that live in LA. 10 million.
Yeah.
That's more than a few states put together.
Yes.
It's very simple math here.
It's just so and I guess it was last week or even 2 weeks ago. I was talking about how I was watching that Manhunt show about the Olympic bombing that happened in like '96 and stuff. Like, bombings don't happen fucking every day, like in the United States, where they fucking detonate and they cause fucking destruction. I mean, luckily, it's a very rare occurrence where it happens, especially in these day and age. I mean, we had the World Trade Center bombing, you had Oklahoma City, Unabomber, and then you had the Olympic one or whatever. And then that's what 5 that I can think of in my lifetime where bombs have like gone off. I'm sure there's more that I can't pull off the top of my head. But this was fucking major. This is like in the 24-hour news network, and the media. I mean, obviously the president, I have low fucking expectations for, whatever dirt low expectations for. But it's like it just seemed like it was so fucking underreported. Like, they're just going. I mean, obviously, yeah, we're in a pandemic and there's a lot of other crazy shit going on, but this was a fucking bomb that fucking went off. And like, it blows my mind.
Yeah. The Boston Marathon bombing, which was only 13.
Forgot about that.
They made a movie about that shit. That shit was fucked up.
That was with Mark Wahlberg. How's your mother?
Yeah. Oh.
How's your mother?
I forgot about the Boston one.
Yeah, the Boston
that'll
one
probably
was
be the next
bad.
season of Manhunt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen every day, and federal governments do a lot of good job in terms of like stopping shit like this from happening through whatever means it is that they do. If they're just get flagged because you buy hundreds of pounds of fertilizer.
He was already flagged
like that, and the FBI is just like, yo,
hold on, bro. He was already flagged.
There you go.
Exactly. But and that's why I want the media to follow up on this and be like, yo, what happened here? How'd this slip through the cracks? Et cetera, et cetera. And it just seems like now we're just going to keep it pushing or whatever. Like, we're going to talk about whatever.
Whoa.
Dude, I remember back in the day, like, there was a guy who was going to, at the other college down in Cupertino, there was a dude that, like, had threatened to, like, fucking shoot up the school and, like, blow it up or some shit like that. But, like, some girl who worked at a fucking photo station called in the FBI, and they were to stop the guy. And it's like, okay, something like this, something minor was stopped, but like this somehow slipped through the fucking cracks, which is fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Oh, did y'all know about this group bombing in? It was just before some of us, but between 1974 and 1977, there's 49 bombings throughout New York City by a Puerto Rican nationalist group. 49.
Yes. They made a PBS documentary about some of that.
I had no idea. Called the FALN. I don't know what that stands for, but 49 bombings. There was one bombing that killed 4 people in a historic area in New York.
Just to be clear, some of those could be. I don't want to minimalize it, but you could like have a car bombing, like you see in the mobster movies, and that's technically a bombing too.
Oh,
but
of course.
It's a little bit smaller scale, but I hear you.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many people died from all of them because like sometimes the Unabomber, he was blowing up places, but he ended up killing people because he miscalculated whether people were going to be there or not. Still,
he was on all of them milk cartons for a minute.
Ooh, damn.
You know what's crazy? Like I actually listened to a podcast and they talked about the whole Tylenol cyanide situation. So there was like some kind of I want to say he was a serial killer, but basically this guy was lacing Tylenol medicine with with cyanide, but it was like so fucking random how he was doing it, so random people were fucking dying. And that's literally why you have that vacuum seal cap on your Tylenol bottles, or pretty much on everything now, to show like, you know, this hasn't been tampered with. It's a good podcast. It was on Stuff You Should Know. It's really worth.
God damn, that's off the hook. The other one, real life news, I wanted to just get out there because I think it's kind of important from a life lesson standpoint. Dr. Drew got that Rona. I mean, that
was my intro. I alluded to it.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I mean, obviously he's probably one of the most famous medical doctors that's like on TV and a celebrity for like years and years and years, going back to the Loveline days and all of that, and even prior to it. He was talking a whole lot of shit for quite a few months earlier this year, completely downplaying Rona. Rona caught up to his ass. Yeah, Rona caught up to his ass. Now, a lot of doctors, to be fair, were actually being overly cautious because this was new and saying, "Hey, because this is new, let's be conservative. You know, let's try to limit. Let's wash our hands. Let's mask up." He was on the polar opposite, like, fuck that, go to the movies, go to a concert, lick people's faces, you know, piss in their ass, do whatever you want to do, go to the orgy. And I was like, God damn, dude, you're a doctor doing this? So, wow. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, the problem is when it comes to, I don't know, I mean, I know he's a medical doctor, right? But the problem is...
Actually, what is his profession?
He's an
I think it's internal medicine.
Yeah. But the problem is that he doesn't have like a specialization in, you know, infectious diseases. So when it comes to like shit like this, like a new virus, I'm less likely to listen to I don't want to say a run of the mill, but I'm going to say it, a run of the mill medical doctor or a general practitioner or a family doctor or fucking run the whole fucking gamut than I am going to listen to like a somebody that really specializes in infectious diseases.
Yep.
That's what I want to know. All right, so what is this infectious disease doctor saying? And yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to discount his doctorate, him being a doctor. He's definitely a doctor. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's specializations, just like me. Like, I do data storage. I don't take advice from a fucking sysadmin. All right, so I'll leave it at that. I specialize in a certain thing.
What was the gender of the admin?
Yeah, assist SYS, a systems administrator, because I don't administer shit. I solve problems. All right, and I think that's what most people, they don't really seem to understand, is that there's specializations in fields. And I think it's really important to understand that the specializations, especially in a doctor field. Like I wouldn't go to doctor. Remember all those medical issues that I had back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely would not have went to go see Dr. Drew for that. I had serious gastro and GI issues, so I had to go see a gastroenterologist. I wouldn't expect him to know anything about I would expect him to have like general knowledge about the biliary tree and shit like that, and the gallbladder and all that stuff. But I wouldn't expect him to have expert knowledge. And so when it comes to like a deadly fucking disease, I need a goddamn expert. All right, on a deadly disease.
And it would have been totally fine, especially with him being on TV for so long, it would have been totally fine for him to be like, hey, listen, this isn't my specialty. I would caution you to get the experts on. I want everyone to be safe, blah, blah, blah. Just don't downplaying it. Like, come on, you know. Anyway, go ahead, Blue.
Well, I was just going to say, like, listening to Dr. Drew is like listening to Dr. Oz. Like, Dr. Oz, I think, is a brain surgeon, but this motherfucker's always, like, pushing this and that. It's like,
magic pills.
Basically magic pills, this and that. But, like, right when Dr. Drew came out and talked about the whole coronavirus, I was like, I lost all respect for you, dude. Like, yeah, like, all the sexual transmitted diseases and shit you talked about, like, way back in the past, like, okay, yeah, you made sense then, but, like, you don't, this isn't your fucking wheelhouse. Like, shut the fuck up. Let the real fucking, like, I mean, I know he's a real doctor, but, like, I don't know. Does he have any patients? Like, who is he treating? Like, if he's not treating any patients, like, you're not a practitioner doctor. You're just doctor by degree.
To be fair, I think he does have probably a small practice of patients somewhere in the LA area, but primarily his job. Yeah, primarily, most of his income is coming from TV doctoring. But go ahead.
True, but I'm pretty
No,
sure
like,
he was counseling celebrities with addiction because he did have
well, yeah, I think
the
so
celebrity
far,
rehab thing because he
so
was
far
able
I'm
to run
looking,
his
and
practice
in
there.
many focus on medicine doctoring, which makes you think of like he deals with like people who are all like does drugs and this and that, but I can't find like what kind of medical field he's in.
I've heard people say it's sort of like a joke, but what do you call the person that finished last in med school that had the lowest GPA? A doctor.
Dennis.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you still get that fucking certificate. So I mean, you could have been the fucking. We've all been the advanced classes, whether it's college or whatever, with some people that they were fucking stupid, but they got a fucking degree in whatever fuck it is that they're majoring, but you wouldn't trust them to fucking build a sandcastle, but they're a fucking engineer.
Well, I mean, okay. Let me dial back some of this a little bit because I mean we're all talking shit against Dr. Drew. He's given out a lot of really good advice throughout history. I mean, Jesus Christ, he was on Loveline and he gave out a lot of really good advice on Loveline, especially when it came to like sexual fucking health and shit like that, and some mental health shit too, and just like general health advice to like a lot of people. So I don't want to discount him as like saying he's like a fucking
A hack?
like a hack. Yeah, he's not a total hack, but he made a huge mistake on this certain subject, and so he needs to be called out on that. But I don't think that he's a hack in general. I think he did a lot of good work. He just fucked up, and I think that he should have erred on the side of caution when it came, especially when you see the cases mounting. I mean, today we passed the 20 million infected mark, and we have over 350,000 people dead in America. When it was downplayed from the beginning, they were saying in the beginning it wasn't even 100,000. It's gonna be way less than that, and then they kept bullshitting us, and then they were trying to tell us that it was gonna be 40 million vaccines by the end of the year. Then it's supposed to be 20 million. Motherfucker, we're not even at goddamn fucking 5 million that are vaccinated. You know what I mean? They keep bullshitting us, and people just keep believing these people, and it's like he's caught up in that whole shitstorm, and unfortunately he deserves it because you fucked up. And you got to take them lumps, but I'm not going to say that he's a total hack. He just fucked up on this certain thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people kind of fucked up on this thing too, because like I think Anderson Cooper, he talked about how this was just like the flu and blah blah blah, but then once people started getting affected, like he kind of backpedaled on his fucking story.
I mean, it becomes a thing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm totally okay with people saying, hey, I got more information, changed my mind, and all that. It is, as we've all said, it's a little bit disappointing when you're talking about someone who is a doctor not acting in the best interest of being cautious and whatnot and do no harm. But yeah, I listened to Loveline. I'm all on board that in general was really good advice on sexual health and just overall even addiction health stuff. So I get all that, but it's still diarrhea. It's disappointing. It's disappointing because it's someone that a lot of people respected and looked up to. That's what it is.
I mean, he had this one fuck up, but I mean, he could definitely go the fucking Giuliani route. I mean,
no, Jesus.
I mean, Giuliani was super well respected.
Can't go full Giuliani.
Yeah, and he's fucking his whole life up for fucking nothing. So I hope Dr. Drew says his, apologies or whatever he needs to do to like kind of. Really make up for like the things that he said, and then he's got. I hope he's gonna be okay. So he's still tweeting, so he's definitely not dead. I hope.
I hope he doesn't go the Donald Trump route where he got it and was like, "Oh, it was nothing," and I'm living my best life. I'm the healthiest I've ever fucking been. Like, no, dude, you gotta like tell the real fucking story. You almost lost your fucking life.
Yeah, it looks like he's being pretty truthful on Twitter, but. I mean, he just got to own up. He made a mistake, man. It's infectious. Hopefully, you don't have very negative consequences. And then people that keep thinking this is a binary thing of like either you're gonna live and be fine or just die. It's not fucking true. So please stop believing in that shit. There's fucking UFC fighters, young men that are fit as fuck. That like who is it? I forget the guy's fucking name, but he had to reschedule his fight like 3 fucking times. Because his lungs have not recovered from COVID yet.
Exactly.
And it's like, so stop thinking about it as just like, oh, either you get it and you're fine, or you're gonna fucking no. These things can affect you for the rest of your fucking life, and possibly take away your career or the way you normally live your life. But you're just willing to take that risk because some orange guy told you that it's okay, or Dr. Drew might have told you that there's no real risk that you can have, herd immunity. When we all know that you can get reinfected with this, we all know this.
Yeah.
Well, like the perfect example would be Alyssa Milano. Like she's been out on the field talking about her condition, where she talked about how like she still have difficulty breathing, like she's losing fucking clumps of hair out of her head. Like this has really impacted her. Like I think she lost her sense of taste as well, and it hasn't came back. Like a lot of people, like one of the radio shows I listen to, one of the guys, he's like super cautious. He's like even one of my managers actually got COVID, and he's a medical. I can't remember what his title is, but he was dispatched to help out with the whole coronavirus thing, and like he got affected because of his being deployed. But yeah, like like losing your taste and never getting it back, like that's probably one of the worst things. It's like, dude, I can't taste my taste. Like, what's going on?
It's not good. It's not good.
like I said, with Alyssa Milano, like she's a perfect example of a celebrity who, like she has like it's hard for her to breathe at certain times, and like her physical, like she's losing clumps of her hair. Like there's a good side to it, and there's like the bad side, but then there's also the in between where like your life isn't going to be the fucking thing anymore going forward.
Yep.
Yeah, it's especially hard to understand for young people because they think. I mean, we're all young before. Well, you're not young now, but you have this feeling of invincibility until something bad happens. I felt like nothing bad happened to me until like I got seriously injured, and it's just like, oh, okay, like these things
You're
can happen
mortal.
to anybody. Yeah, like you're not gonna live forever, 100%, and there are things that are worse than death. So, somebody please turn off. Thank you.
Is that
There are things that are worse than death. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Give like really quick another aspect. Did y'all hear about Jeremiah, the R&B singer or whatnot?
Jeremiah?
Is it Jeremiah? I thought it's pronounced Jeremiah, not Jeremiah. But
Okay.
Is it the guy
I
who
remember that name.
Is it the guy who sings
What was
that song?
he sings Southside or whatnot. But
Is he the one that had like the treadmill when they're like in the music video?
That's Jamiroquai.
that's Jamiroquai. Yeah.
oh, taking it back to the
Virtual
early 2000s, late
insanity.
90s. But yeah, the singer. So he's 33. He caught COVID-19, and he ended up on a ventilator.
Damn.
And he just updated that he's doing kind of better, but there's rumors that he had some severe damage to his body. But he's saying he's out there saying from a hospital bed, he's on Instagram saying, take care of yourself, mask up. This was no joke for me. He'd been in the hospital for weeks. Not a couple days, weeks.
What pisses me off is you still have, and I'm not saying this is just a rural thing. No, this all over, California included. Folks that will just do these storming parties into a Walgreens or a Target, massless, like demanding, I need to get in, and blah blah blah.
Let me see them. I got my Twisted Tea ready.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ. We haven't learned. We're very selfish with no empathy and a lack of understanding on science and a hatred towards experts. None of this shit had to go down as fucked up as it is, and I try to detach myself from it, from the news cycle every now and again just to take a breath. But holy shit, man, it's overwhelming.
It's the birthday sex guy.
Really funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's really funny?
Yeah,
is how,
birthday
like,
sex. Yeah.
With the
Oh, there you go.
with the Spanish flu, like they use masks to protect each other, and like literally 100 years later, we're doing the same fucking thing, wearing masks to try to protect each other.
We're so
And we
stupid.
still got the same motherfuckers saying like, "Oh no, the mask is gonna work," and blah blah blah.
I'm gonna have to explain to my grandchildren that people died of stupidity in 2020. Literally a fucking stupidity. Like, this is so fucking. Like, I can't understand how the human race has existed up until this point when we can't stay at home and wear something to cover our face. People get so mad about it. It's just like, are you for real? Like, it's not hard to do. Like, I understand essential workers and all that shit, but come on.
People get mixed up the concept of being slightly inconvenienced with freedom
Yeah.
and public fucking health or whatever. It's exhausting to even like wrap my brain around, but it's just like for the greater good of society, can you please do that? No, 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 no. That's not my free choice. You're
I have rights.
my freedom. I have rights. The Constitution says I can do this or whatever. So fuck
you. Can't take away my First Amendment right.
Fuck your feelings, 2020.
The thing that gets me is that at the same time, and you're absolutely right about all that sentiment, Stitch, but at the same time, we collectively call ourselves this Christian nation.
No,
and so the evangelicals and the uber Christian folks and the Bible thumpers, really and truly, those are the ones who I'm just like, really? You're okay with endangering other strangers' lives? What part of the Bible is that?
No, well, on Christianity, and that'll be a long fucking podcast when we go down that hole in terms of hypocrisy, in terms of how Christians are supposed to treat one another or whatever. I mean, that's a laughable concept in terms of how people call themselves Christians, but do complete opposite things and can't even treat people equally because they don't look like them. They don't have the same fucking beliefs politically or fucking ethically as somebody else or whatever. I mean, that shit's been going on since way before we got here.
True. Big truth.
Yeah.
Big truth.
Well, I mean, they're fucking. I mean, their Messiah is a Middle Eastern guy, at best.
Yes.
Probably a black guy. And seriously, but y'all want to bullshit from your magical book, and pretend that you can all of a sudden just put all these, people that are brown, that are, immigrants, put them in cages and it's fine. Show me in the Bible where it says it's cool to put kids in cages. There's a lot of fucked up shit in the Bible. I mean, along with like, selling your daughters to people and shit like that. But tossing immigrants in cages was not one of them.
Yep.
But so I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get angry.
Yeah. No, I get it. Actually,
I mean, the Bible talks about like being a slave and shit like that. So I mean,
it does. It does. Can we save the Soul? I know we went deep on Wonder Woman. Can we save Soul for next week? I'm still trying to finish it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Oh, really? I've seen it.
I mean, Soul for me was better than Wonder Woman. 1984. I really enjoyed that movie. Some people that kind of go a little bit too deep into like racist issues, they had a problem with part of the movie, but I don't give a fuck. I thought it was very enjoyable, especially the barber shop scene.
Yeah, that shit had me rolling.
Well, let the rest of let's save it for next week, and by then, hopefully, all 5 of us will have seen it and whatnot. Should we wrap it off? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how was everyone's Christmas? I mean,
go ahead.
Fucking do.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that too.
It's shit like that.
Yeah, let's talk about Christmas. We talk about bombings and shit like that. Like,
all right.
What was bomb about your Christmas?
Oh my god.
Christmas here was fun. Just sort of did our kind of tradition, or at least my sort of tradition, in terms of like where baby wakes up or kid wakes up and sees the presents all underneath the tree. Where I grew up, there weren't presents underneath the tree unless they got like from like distant family members or whatever. For like direct family members, I would wake up on Christmas Day and poof, tree is fucking overflowing with gifts or whatever. So
that's what we do.
That's what we kind of do. We waited for we waited for the kid to go down, and then I just started wrapping gifts, throwing them under the tree, and all kinds of stuff. And it was kind of funny because like I was the last one to go to sleep, but I was like the first one up. And Storm was just like, it was like one of the few times she just slept in. It was probably like the latest she ever slept in. And I'm like, yo, what's going on with the baby? Like, she alive or whatever? Like, this is one time you're supposed to be up. It was like, yeah, normally she's up around like 7-ish, 8-ish, ready to go. It was like 9 o'clock. I'm just like looking at my watch, and like Lila was asleep too. And I'm just like, I guess they just rested in, but they fucking need it because Well, no, I was
just kept
chill
gaming.
because baby's been, yeah, she was being crazy all that week or whatever. But I was like, of all the days you want to sleep in today, but she enjoyed it. It was fun watching her try to go through the wrapping paper. I would like help her like open it up, and of course she'd open it up, and then she would just put like the wrapping paper in her mouth, kind of thing, and all kinds of funny shit. But it was good to see that whole thing play out, and emptied out all the data on my GoPro, so I recorded like the entire process from beginning to end, which was really cool. But it was a great time, fun time.
Cool.
So yeah, mine was pretty cool. I got a really cool present from my oldest daughter. She made me a painting. I'm gonna show it to all of you.
Oh shit!
You guys see
Oh
that?
shit, that's legit.
That's pretty.
Yeah,
Very
that's
nice.
dope.
Very nice.
Yeah, so this is Into the Spider-Verse painting. It's basically all the characters from Into the Spider-Verse. It's Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Spider-Pig, Penny Parker, and Spider-Man Noir. So for y'all that are not watching the live stream, it's a really cool painting.
Yo, she should like do some Etsy shit with that, like with her artwork. That's really good.
Bruh, like I tried to like get her to do that, and she thinks there's no money in it. I'm like, I would pay for this. So,
Oh yeah,
the fuck you
I
talking
know
about?
at least 40 nerds that would pay for that.
And she can make
Dude,
jewelry.
I want to buy it.
She can make jewelry and sculptures and all this other stuff, but she doesn't
Yeah,
have money
she
in
did.
it.
Didn't she do a bust of Thanos once?
Yeah, she did a bust of Thanos and one of Link as well. And she
Oh,
makes
shit.
actual like jewelry stuff, like really intricate jewelry, but she doesn't think there's money in it. But I'm like, there's money there. Like, you have a skill
Yeah.
that I wish I fucking had. Like, seriously.
For real.
I mean,
Dude, that
making
is
I mean,
convention
making stuff
level
like
stuff.
making stuff here and there. I mean, that's easier. But when you have like a lot of customers that want shit by this fucking date, I'm pretty sure that shit could get stressful.
Oh, so, I mean, she can make this a print. You know?
Hey, she could like do one artwork, print it out, and just have it like artwork wrap or whatever. Yeah, I guess we can do that.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna text her and be like, hey, make me something cool Batman related.
and if you're looking in the background, that right there, that Hulk is her. That's also her artwork.
Like, what?
So
Yeah, I can't see it on your.
We don't see it in the camera. Kind of
okay.
cut off.
Okay. Well, the other folks can see it. And if you're looking at the other paintings, like the other ones they're all K-Mac. So she's a.
Oh yeah,
I can see those. Yeah.
No. If I'm watching the YouTube video, you can't see it. It's like on the other side of the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, Christmas is pretty relaxed around here. Actually, my if you don't know, the Swedish and I are expecting our first son. We're having a boy, and my unborn child got more gifts than I did.
Yeah, there you
Like
go.
my mom dropped off my mom dropped off clothes. But what's cool about like my mom, like I wasn't really expecting her to do certain things, but she was actually smart. So she dropped me off like some clothes for like a newborn. She basically dropped off clothes for every stage of the kid's life. So it wasn't like she dropped off all clothes for newborn. So it's newborn, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 9 to 12, 12 to 18 months. Like it was different variety because like all the videos and friends and stuff have told me like, yeah, that anything newborn you probably need like 8 outfits. That's it. Like you just the kid will wear it and you wash it. Like that's all you fucking need. And after that, like the kid grows so fucking fast. Like you don't need like a whole bunch of clothes and shoes and this and that and this and that. But yeah, so Christmas was pretty relaxed. We went to her brother's house, hung out with her family. My mom came over the next day. I was actually surprised. My mom came over. She's like, "Where's my sweet potato pie?" I'm like, "I didn't make sweet potato pie."
Ooh,
She's like, "Why didn't you make sweet potato pies?" I was like, "I forgot. I seriously forgot to make sweet potato pie. So I usually make for Christmas too."
You tell her I get one.
But,
I got one, but on Thanksgiving.
Well, no, because my brother texted me. He's like, "Hey, did you make any sweet potato pies?" I'm like, "No, like, no, I didn't make any sweet potato pies." Like, come on, man, I'm not a fucking drug dealer. Like,
Got what I need. I got these cheeseburgers, bro.
But no, yeah. Anyway, so me, the sweetest and I were talking about like with our son on the way. We're trying to think of like traditions and this and that. Like for me, like growing up as a kid, like Christmas Eve, you open up one gift and that's it. And then tomorrow you open up the rest of the gifts. But for her, you open up all your gifts on Christmas Eve, and then like the next day, like I guess you go visit family and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa, that's like weird, but I guess I mean that makes sense because you're visiting other people, so you don't have time to open up gifts. So that all makes sense. But we're just mainly trying to figure out what we're gonna do for tradition in our household, trying to combining like black family with Latino family. Like how can we make that intermingle? But
Make tamales.
as was
Tamales.
It's the best.
Greens.
man, like Nancy's auntie makes tamales, and they are like they're literally little presents and stuff like that. And she wants to learn how to make tamales, but it's like it's almost like a craft. Like you have to like put your soul into making these tamales to make them fucking taste good. You don't want no run. I have some bad fucking tamales. Like some tamales, I was like, oh shit, this is fucking gross. Like, but no, we're still working it out, trying to figure it out. But like we're trying to figure out like how are we gonna like tell our kids there's a Santa Claus and this and that. Like I don't know, it's just there's a lot of debate and discussion going on right now. But we'll see how it all plays out next year. But my son's gonna know Batman is real. No,
There you go.
No, I can't do that. Because Batman would be no crime if Batman was real.
Oh man, hold on. So I have to. Jesus Christ, Prodigy, the only person that can relate on this. I lost the Santa Claus bullshit with my kid with Riley. Like I didn't want to tell her about Santa Claus. I was like, Santa Claus is fucking bullshit. I'm like, I don't want to do this fucking stupid ass. I'm gonna lie to you saying that some fucking random ass dude that you don't know gave you a present, and I lost. I'm not happy about it because that whole side of the family was just like, oh, we're gonna do the fucking Santa Claus thing. He's heard about it from school. I need a Santa present. I'm like, motherfucker, Santa Claus doesn't exist, but I mean, I guess I'm lying now. You know, what the fuck?
You're torn. Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. My daughter actually tried to argue with me a couple times on it, and I was just like, look here. You see we got a fake chimney over here because we were in the old place.
Bro, we don't even have a fucking chimney. We don't even have a fucking fireplace.
Yeah, and I was just like, and do you know how big the Earth is? Like, anyway, I broke it down. But yeah, but it's a double-edged sword because my when my eldest son was in preschool, he sure did hurt a lot of kids' souls with like,
fuck them
you
kids.
believe in that bullshit?
Yeah, fuck them kids. I don't like lying to I don't like lying to kids. Like, why are you gonna lie to them like that? Like, Santa Claus doesn't exist. Why are we bullshitting?
Yep, I feel it. Old Ninja, you went up to SAC, I think.
Yeah, I went to SAC really quick. So I finally got something that I thought I was gonna get. I thought I was gonna get this like in 2019 because two of these guys on this podcast said they're gonna have a gumbo cook-off, and who was gonna have the better gumbo, and that shit never happened.
Well, I mean, there's the Rona. I mean, come on, man.
Well, I said 2019, not 2020.
2019, okay.
Yeah, 2019.
All right, we all.
Yeah.
You've been saying you were going to beat Battletoads and put it out in the public or whatever.
I never used it.
Hold on.
Time out.
I said pulled your card.
No, he didn't because I said I beat it. I never said I was going to post it. I never said because I don't have the game anymore.
Wait, old Ninja, are you breaking? Wait, old Ninja, are you breaking an oath?
I don't do what you do.
What? Shut the fuck up, Prodigy. How fucking... Hold on. How dare this motherfucker talk about breaking nose? This musty mouth motherfucker talk about breaking nose.
Stick at that shit.
I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions here. I'm just asking questions.
Where my twisted tea at? Where my twisted tea at? I'm about to chuck this. Make this hit you right in the face.
Fucking chaos.
Yeah, oh, give me that. Give me that.
We are passing cans of twisted tea through the internet.
I got my digital copy right here. That's what I get for playing Cyberpunk. Yeah, I got to see family. I got my niece a bunch of stuff that she was, I guess, happy to get. I don't know. She got a bunch of stuff that a lot of other children would not
So what the
Or
fuck
probably
is
not
this?
fortunate to get. Yeah, kind of. No, she was just like, she'd open stuff and be like, okay, thank you, and then move on to the next one, tear it open. Oh, that's great, thank you, and then move on to the next one. She didn't stop to like kind of appreciate stuff. She just
That's
wanted
what
to
a
just
kid
like,
does.
yeah, she just wanted to just tear through everything. I was just like, okay, sure. But yeah,
what's
I got to
funny?
eat some gumbo. I got to watch my niece open up her gifts and whatnot, and I watched, Wonder Woman
Fire.
with the folks a little bit, and got to hang out for a little bit and let them know that I kind of wore a mask when I was over there, so and then try to make sure I was washing my hands like quite frequently and stuff, try to be as safe as possible, and didn't go nowhere. It was a little weird because people were stopping by to bring my parents gifts, and we didn't expect that, so we had to like kind of make
Leave that
adjustments.
shit at the door like Amazon. What the fuck?
Well, yeah, but like some of them were little like neighborhood kids. My mom's a teacher, so she had students like kind of drop by or whatnot. So it was kind of
In the egg our house. That's what I did.
yeah. It was kind of, no, they didn't egg the spot. No, they were leaving gifts, so it was kind of like it's kind of hard to tell a kid get the fuck out of here when your mom's around.
Oh,
When
it's
they're
super
not
easy.
around. It's like fuck you, kid.
It's real easy
Fuck
to
outta
do.
here.
People are worried about everything, but you just gotta do consequences. You can say fuck them kids all day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all bad. So yeah,
You know, the Indians got gifts of blankets. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'm just.
God dang. But yeah, it was like
If I ever work for Amazon for the holidays, I'm gonna dress like Santa Claus when I drop off boxes.
oh, that'd be
Fuck it,
awesome.
like, come on, this is what really fucking going on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh,
But yeah, that was it.
Oh,
We got silence. We got dead air.
I feel like
No,
this is a very
Lou
strange
was gonna say
podcast
something.
because we only talked about like literally 3 things, and
Yeah.
we're almost at 3 hours. How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, I know. Let's wrap it up.
So
though.
hold on, before we wrap it up, I'll keep this short. But episode 300 is coming up in 4 fucking episodes, so that's 4 weeks from now.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a drunk cast. So you guys have
Why
a
not?
consensus? I would also like to open it up to the listeners and viewers. If you would like to be on the podcast and have some drinks with us, virtually, obviously, hit us up at beathenbti@gmail.com.
There you
And
go.
we will
We
bullshit.
don't.
But I'll give you a caveat. If you bring in some bullshit on the live stream,
You'll get
we will
dropped.
kick you the fuck out immediately.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to come and like hang out and be cool, we're good. If you want to come and bring some bullshit, you can kick the fuck out. So
Twisted
What was
Tea
it?
style.
yeah,
What was the name of that idiot guy that we had on the cast like years
yeah, we don't
ago?
talk about him no more.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, we don't say his name.
He who shall not be
I don't know that
named.
name.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is
We
That-
even
that's not
got
gonna happen.
trolled by a celebrity using his name because of that. So
That was great.
I'm gonna name some listeners by name, only because I've never seen them. I'm sorry, I've seen one of them, but we haven't had like a chance to chat like for any decent amount of time. My High Blurred I have not seen at all. I've never talked to him in my life. Locally, Warrior Fella I've met in person, but he's never been on the podcast. Long-time listener. I would love to have
Yeah,
Clay the
bartender.
Bartender on as well.
Yes,
I would
yes.
love to have shit
We gotta get
pre-recorded live.
the
I'd love to have
PRO
them
guy.
on
Yeah.
the STS
oh
podcast.
shit.
I would love to have on
Becky.
shit his
What?
old that's the whole cast from pre-recorded live. I'd love to have on.
comic noobs.
Yes, Comic News. I was gonna say they
Oh.
stopped doing their podcast
Kevin.
because of Kevin and the other guys.
Dan-
Sue.
Dan and Gianni.
Yeah, everybody that knows us that does podcasts and listeners, hit us up and
Yeah.
we can do this all together
Yeah.
and we'll have fun and just have a bunch of drinks together. And
We need
stuff.
Cake Man on here for sure.
Yeah.
Cake Man's got to be on.
Yeah,
And
Cake
Dirty-
Man, Dirty Stew.
I was gonna say Dirty Stew, but you know the
What's up?
FCC won't let us have Dirty Stew on.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? They kick his ass right back to Scotland with that shit. He's
Yeah,
nasty.
crazy time
That's
difference.
terrible.
It'd be like 5
Yeah.
in the morning for him.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to bring on some like previous guests too. Like, I mean, like I'm talking about like Cake Man and God, Professor X, Professor
Oh, yeah.
Dingus Thing. Cake Man, one of them. Even we got the Fireman.
Yeah,
Like the second name your brother went by.
Yeah, and
They were
Mr.
even
and
bringing
Mr.
back
X.
even bringing back Earth Girls Are Easy. That'd be fucking cool.
Dope.
Oh, that'd be actually pretty interesting.
Well, that would be interesting because we're in the same room, or in the same household. But we could when we have a toddler we could do it. We can have her make a special appearance. So
yeah, we'll work some stuff out. Let's wrap it on up. But before we do, literally because the new year is coming, I think it's time as of next week to put out the golden eggplants for people to vote on.
Yes.
So, actually, Stitch, what you got popping this week?
I plan on just chilling, playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Do you like it?
I love it.
What are you playing it on?
So on that side.
Ain't nothing wrong with the 2600 Atari. How dare you? He's licking his dual shot.
I hope it's short circuit on your ass.
Look at this dude.
People would say.
Look at this dude. You still using. Look at this dude still using children condoms.
I should put on a monocle and a top hat while I play my fucking PlayStation.
About to flip this table up.
We need to eat the 1%.
Oh shit!
Go ahead.
But no,
go ahead.
it's amazing. I love the game. I wish I had have played it like when it first dropped. That way I could have just been like in that whole active discussion. So it's like or whatever. And I did a pretty good job because I knew I was going to play it to like not see what was going on spoiler wise. But I'm loving it so far. The combat is really good. It's kind of with Spider-Man you can kind of button mash your way through some stuff, even though obviously you need to dodge and there's a good bit of button mashing going on. This you have to block and parry, or you're going to get fucked up. Like, and it's going to ask you, do you want to go to easy mode because you're struggling right now?
Look here, Sim.
And I'm loving it.
Gotta work at that too.
Yeah, even with like the different the stands is like the water stance and it's really good in terms of like all the stuff you can unlock.
Water, stone, wind.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and some of the stuff I'm still trying to figure out because I wanted to like, for example, when you sort of walk up into this like new area, it'll be like, "Yo, challenge guy" or whatever. And be like, I'd rather just like silently kill these motherfuckers. And then like it kind of, I don't even know if it's part of the story or if it was like a warning. It's like, yo, that's kind of unhonorable how you'd be jumping off roofs and stabbing people. Like, Uncle said you need to do this with honor, and I'm like, is it trying to like, am I gonna get penalized if I keep doing this like stealthy ninja shit or whatever? So I was just like, all right, I'll go along with it. I challenge you or whatever. I just walk up like I'm some fucking badass, knock on the door and be like, yo, bring your best guy. We're gonna have that duel off where it's like you gotta release the triangle button. I was like, this is pretty dope. Just loving, absolutely loving the game. I still got a long ways to go, but I'll probably end up playing it tonight. And then, other than that, I did win one of my fantasy football leagues. I'm really happy that I won this one because it's a lot of people like I went to college with that are actually in football, and some of them actually played in the NFL. So it's like they legit know their football shit and stuff like that. And like I think I'm the only one that did not play Division I football or play in the league that's in it. And I ended up winning that stuff. And so it's kind of cool because it's like I'm sort of out of my element in terms of like some of the stuff that we're talking to. Because we were playing.
Oh no! Talk some shit, bro. You can do that now. You fucking won. Talk some shit. What are they gonna do? Beat you up?
I sort of stay in my lane. But,
no, fuck that. You won.
The magic.
It's like I'm the nerdy like Moneyball guy or whatever, like that never played or whatever, but like they respect me because I know my shit, but I didn't actually fucking get out on the field. So I maintain that level.
That means
like,
they should be embarrassed. Embarrass them.
Yeah, Yeah.
Well, it's like
But
that
it's just
kid
like-
who's really good at Call of Duty and shot a gun for the first time and fucking started crying.
It's like, all right, I'm in a club that I probably shouldn't be in, but they all respect me here, so I'm just going to sit here and chill or whatever. So it's kind of like, I'll do that. I'm happy I won. Normally, if it was any other fantasy league, I'd be fucking memeing it up and photoshopping their heads on dead bodies and all kinds of shit. But taking my victory very humbly and stuff. So that's pretty much what I got going on. And then obviously New Year's, just for the first time in a long time, just gonna sit here and watch the TV count down to 0. I guess,
God
and
damn.
just drink champagne. So who knows?
There you go. Blue, what you got?
No, you gotta drink the champagne while playing your PS5, bro. You know what it's all about.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Fancy motherfuckers.
As far as this weekend, or at least, so tomorrow's New Year's Eve for the New Year's countdown. This means like what States talked about, we're just gonna stay at home. I don't know. We should probably do like a Zoom or some kind of Google Hangout where we get everybody together to count down the fucking ball.
My sister has a thing that's coming together. I'll send you an invite.
Oh no, she sent me an invite. I saw that. She sent it to me too. I thought it was for like something I have right now, but
no, it's for New Year's. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it starts at like 11:30 tomorrow, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Yeah. So just we're just waiting for baby Blue to get here. The sweetness will be in her officially. Should be in her third trimester this Friday. So literally,
Nice.
she will start the new year in her third trimester, which is kind of crazy how it all works out.
So when she's done, does she get the Triforce? Is that how that works?
I hope so. I was like the little diamond shows up, like sitting in there. But no, we're really excited about the baby coming and like how life is. Like it's funny because like we went from being like boyfriend girlfriend to being like a couple to being like we got married and now we're gonna eventually be a fucking family, which is like whoa, which is fun crazy. But one crazy thing is that like I was just thinking about this earlier, how my son would never experience the feeling of waking up on Christmas Day to a new video game console, just because since I'm a fucking gamer too, like when a game comes out, I'm gonna fucking
shit.
buy it. It's gonna be in the house already. So like my kid would never experience that feeling of like, oh my god, I got a PlayStation 8. Like holy shit, Dad, you're the greatest. I'm like, it's gonna be like, oh shit, the PlayStation 8 is coming out. I'm buying that shit right fucking now. But, no, just thinking of that and like I don't know, just mainly trying to think about what we're gonna do in the future and like the whole family situation and this and that. But yeah, other than that, we're chilling, relaxing, shooting some b-ball outside of court.
God damn it.
Real quick, and it's so funny because I remember Mishka said that, and I get maybe it's a different dynamic when you have like a son versus a daughter, but Mishka always said that like the daughter will render you like fucking powerless or whatever. And so like I was holding Storm and she's got now like her bottom teeth are there and her top two are growing in. So I'm holding her and she just like chomped on me like a fucking thing. I was like, ouch. And I was like, no. And then she looked at me and her face turned completely upside down and started like frowning. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Or whatever. I was like, I have no power here. I was like, fuck. I was like, it's true. Or whatever. Because Mishka would always tell me that Logan would have no power over you, but Reese or whatever can fucking do whatever the fuck she wants.
There's a lot of truthiness that I'm not going to get into.
it's hard.
Quick little shout out to Markeisha for not Mickey. What? Oh God, Mishka for hooking up with the fucking banana pudding. Because holy shit, I devoured that shit. Like that was like literally. If I had the wish stone in my hand, I probably would have wished for that.
I didn't get any.
That's all you wish for? Banana pudding.
Well, we got some, but I didn't get any. I think it's all gone. I live with 3 girls. I mean, that's
There you go. Cronus, what you got popping this week?
I am beyond the Rona. This has been like one of the most difficult years of my entire fucking life. So if y'all that know me, obviously all you guys know me personally on a personal level. Y'all know the shit that I went through this year, and it's been fucking really rough. So it's not just the Rona. I'm just glad that I can put this fucking year behind me and just go forward, because this year was fucking bullshit for like a lot of fucking reasons. So I'm looking forward to just moving on, and hopefully next year will be better. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. It could be just more of the same fucking bullshit. But you never know. So I'm hoping that next year will be better, and that shit will just kind of stabilize and be okay. But you know, it's hard. Like like people are talking about, oh, 2021 is gonna be so much better. You don't fucking know. I mean, the run is gonna still be there next year. It'll be there on fucking the 1st. It'll be there in fucking February. It'll be there in March. It'll be there in fucking, April, May. It's still gonna be here. And that's beyond all the other fucking bullshit that people don't even want to talk about. All the effects that have happened to our children, that have happened to us personally, of like having a social distance, all that shit. That's all gonna pile up. And I think that the repercussions that we're gonna get from that are not gonna be seen for years from now. And once they start seeing these repercussions, it's like, yeah, this is a fucked up time to be alive. But I also would not want to be alive in like 1945. So, because I'd have definitely probably got lynched or some shit in 1945. Because, yeah. Anyway, I'm glad to still be here. I miss you guys, all of you. I wish we were in the same room again. I wish we had all bullshit again. Next year we should be able to do that again.
Yes.
Hopefully next year I'll be able to do jiu-jitsu again, because that's a serious part of like dealing with my mental health issues, is like being able to do jiu-jitsu. Riding a fucking Peloton bike helps, but it's definitely not like it's not a solid solution as far as like what I need to like vent my mental issues through physical means. So
by choking somebody. Yeah, you gotta choke them out. I mean, come on now.
I love choking people. It's great. Actually, anybody that's ever rolled with me, they know that I actually don't choke a whole lot. I actually do a lot of arm locks and fucking leg locks, but I do choke from every now and again. But yeah, I just, I miss doing a lot of shit. I'm missing you guys. I want you guys to be here in the Infinity Base, and I'm gonna keep improving upon it while you guys are gone. Hopefully, when the Rona is done, I will have a whole different setup in this room, because right now it's not really great for all of us being in here. So I want to build a whole new table, so all of us can fit in here a little bit better. But I got time, so thank you, Rona, for that. I got fucking time to do that shit. So yeah, I miss you guys. Here's to a better 2021. Let's hope it's better than this year.
Old Ninja.
All right, since I'm the last one, I'm just gonna quickly address everyone that's listening. We wish you a happy New Year from the Black and Black Times Infinity fam. We hope that you stay safe and take care of yourself, take care of your family. Don't try to make good decisions. I know it's kind of a dad thing to say, but I mean,
don't try to make good decisions. Can you rephrase that?
No, I said try to make good decisions. Don't be doing some crazy stuff and end up catching the Rona and potentially killing your whole family. That being said, this week I'm actually going to be working New Year's Day and New Year's Eve.
Damn.
It's going to be kind of weird, but I don't plan on going anywhere. I plan on not seeing a whole lot of people, so I'm not going to be partying or whatever. There is going to be Cobra Kai season 3 starts this weekend. Starts Friday. I'm probably gonna not try to binge through a whole lot. I'm gonna try to watch some of it. Also, the new segment in the Transformers Netflix series drops the same day. So I was really into the first season. I'm gonna try to watch a little bit of that.
Wait, did you watch Death of 2020?
No, I'm gonna watch it either tonight or early tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody watch that. Sorry, recommendation for the end of the year.
Yeah, it looks hilarious. Which, if you don't know what it is, it's on Netflix. It has Sam Jackson, Tracy Ullman, a couple other people in it. It's basically them being interviewed on their 2020, and the trailer's hilarious.
Well,
So-
it's basically like watching Idiocracy. It's not just them being interviewed. It's like literally like a parody of 2020, but based on 2020.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
It looks hilarious. What else? Oh yeah, so I'm still playing Cyberpunk. I finally got to the title screen, and I can actually craft now, so it's weird. I'm also gonna try to. What's up?
Was there an update that came out for?
Yeah, there's been several updates.
Yeah,
So
it did not fix a lot on my end. I'm just saying.
Am I?
yeah, I guess it fixed a lot of the save glitches. So I mean, sure. I'm also going to be trying to do what Stitch is doing, playing more Ghost of Tsushima, because I haven't finished the game. I've only gone through a little more than halfway, so I want to try to do that. We got to get Stitch up to speed so he can be raid ready as well.
yeah.
So we got to do some of that multiplayer. But yeah, it's going to be a very different New Year for me because I'm usually out and about. But I'm going to be working and just basically watching some of these new shows and just staying at home, pretty much, just taking it easy.
Well, speaking of staying at home, everybody, I have a good feeling about 2021 because it starts on Food Friday again. So we need to appreciate what the universe has in store for us.
No, we don't. That's not even appreciated except by you.
God damn. I'm still working my way through Final Fantasy 7. I really like that shit. We got to talk about it at some point.
Are you Atari 2600?
No, on my Atari 2600. You know what I mean, with my single button and my joystick. The other thing, I think some more people on this show have watched some Kipo. I'm almost done with it, but goddamn, I love that show.
Oh yeah, I'm on season 3.
Kipo has the best fucking soundtrack for like an animated series ever. Like holy shit, like
it's pretty fucking hot.
It's up there with like not Black Dynamite. With Black Panther and fucking Into the Spider-Verse. Like, both of those movies had great fucking soundtracks. Kipo is up there. Like, they have fucking K-pop. They have fucking, like, some fucking, Digital Noir sounding music. Like, it's just, like, it's fucking legit.
The K-pop goes hard. Still watching The Expanse, and finishing off season 4 of that. Holy shit, I fucking love that one from a sci-fi standpoint. And, of course, there was one quick, brand new anime suggestion I had, or recommendation, Akudama Drive. I know I fucked that up. Akudama Drive. Sci-fi, cyberpunk. It's on Funimation. That shit is hard as fuck. It's already on my list for one of the top animes of this year. It really goes hard.
Prodigy.
And then, what?
You don't say arigato like we say arigato.
Akudama?
Why you do this?
I'd be fucking up.
You don't Futanari like we Futanari.
Oh, god damn. Yeah. That's pretty much all I got, except for Cobra Kai on this weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll fucking see. Take us out, old ninja.
Oh, real quick, I'm gonna try to watch Monster Hunter sometime this weekend.
Oh shit!
I know it's gonna be terrible,
your expectations.
Yeah, my expectations are real low.
Isn't T.I. in that bullshit?
Yes, he is. Oh, so is Ron Perlman.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's in the film. It's gonna be crazy. You just experienced Black and Black times Infinity. Check us out anywhere on the internet with B's and BTI. It's BTHAN BTI. Let's find us anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Pretty much, Amazon, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Republic, SoundCloud, Player FM, Stitcher. Apple Podcasts, and then check out our official website, binheadproduction.com/B's and BTI. Also on Amazon, we have an app on there. Be ready for these golden eggplants.
Next week, we dropping them. It's
gonna be crazy
with new categories.
Yeah.
Some surprises too.
Some surprises.
More foodies.
No. Happy New Year, everybody. Enjoy your foodie-free 2021.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't catch that Rona.
Tipsy toe.
Y'all gonna keep going, or are we gonna start the podcast?
Now we keep going. Keep going.